The Hash It Out Show is brought to you by Barreto Home Solutions, Bayou Audio and Video, Hot Works on the North Shore, JFK Martial Arts in Mandeville and Covington, Lil Dizzy's Cafe, The Green Law Firm, personal injury attorney, Kaylin Parker of Magnolia Wealth Strategies, Moe's Pizza, Lance's AC and Heating, CC's Children Blocks, The Pierre Family in Lafayette, Louisiana, Drums Earwear.
Hands up, hands up. If you winning and you don't give a fuck about a hater, tell them move, 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 move. Cause I'm winning, I'm winning, I'm winning. 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 Hands up, hands up. If you winning and you don't give a fuck about a hater, tell them move, 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 move. Cause I'm winning, I'm winning, I'm winning. I'm winning, I'm winning, I'm winning. I'm winning, I'm winning, I'm winning. I'm winning, I'm winning, I'm winning.
What's going on, everybody? Wait. There we go. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Hash It Out Show. I'm your host, JB, the sports guy. Got a good one for you all tonight. In about 20 minutes at 7:20, we will have the one, the only coach, Lyle Fitte, the head coach of the South Plaquemines Hurricanes. You know, they just won that state championship on Thursday in 9 select Division 4. He's going to join us. And then at 8 o'clock, the head coach of the Archbishop Shaw Eagles, Coach Hank Tierney, will join us. And we got some things to talk about, baby. We got a good show for you all tonight. You know, I can't do it without the other two guys. You got VK Jones. What's going on, VK Jones? How you doing?
Hey, how y'all doing? How y'all doing? Like, tag, share, subscribe to the Hash It Out Show, all social media platforms. And we definitely appreciate everybody joining us and log on to the Hash It Out Show.com. As you see, that I'm in a little bit of uniform. We had a basketball game this afternoon in the math and science tournament, and it didn't turn out too well. But at the same time, we'll be playing again tomorrow at 4 o'clock.
4 o'clock tomorrow. Okay, yeah. Where's that? Patrick Taylor?
No, it's at New Orleans, New Orleans, and I'm sorry, New Orleans
American.
Science and Math. New
Abe?
Orleans Science and Math. That no, that's that no, not Abe.
No.
It's like Sci High. They call it.
Oh, side high. Okay, I got
Yes,
you. All right.
yes.
And of course, we got George Peppers. What's up, GP?
What's up, JBVK? But that's not that resume, man. You need to start winning. Come on, dude. You're an assistant coach. You need to dust out that resume. Get it right. I'm being messy. It's your first year, man. Look, and
Yeah,
you
you
told
being
me
real
already.
messy, bro.
Real
Real
I
messy.
messy.
know. I know, but hey, look, man, y'all keep working, man. Y'all keep working. Do y'all think we do have a very good show tonight? Uh, we have found a breaking story last night. Once we got off the air, and Jared, I don't know if you want to lead with that. What happened with the it involves basketball.
I mean, man, he just went right into it, man. But yes, I am, and yes, I
Wait,
was
what? I just want to make
going to
sure.
lead with it. I mean, man, my goodness, George. But anyway, let's get into it, man. Let's get to it. So, me, George, and VK was talking after the show last night, and George just happened to ask, "What are we going to lead off with tomorrow?" And I was like, "I don't know yet, man. I'm sure I'm going to find something." And then within less than a minute, bam, I found something.
Yep.
And as you see, St. Martin's Episcopal has been crowned Division Four Select State Basketball Champs. So let's go back to the state championship. They lost to Crescent City 71-59. That was back in March. We are in December now. And Crescent City has been made to vacate the title. And St. Martin's gets the title. And let me read a few things. So here we go. St. Martin's has been, this is by Christopher Dave, staff writer for The Advocate. St. Martin's has been declared the winner of the 2024 Boys Basketball State Championship in Division 4 Select after the LHSAA determined that Crescent City won the title in March with an ineligible player. St. Martin's athletic director Frank Gendusa said the LHSAA notified the school on Saturday that St. Martin's has been declared the state champion and that he could retrieve the state championship trophy at the LHSAA offices in Baton Rouge. Gendusa, who picked up the trophy on Tuesday, yesterday, said the school will present the trophy to players between the junior varsity and varsity games Saturday against East Jefferson. The junior varsity game starts at 11 a.m. Now, he also said, we didn't lose to anybody that played by the same LHSAA rules that we did. So we felt very deserving. St. Martin's basketball coach Michael Odom said. Crescent City coach Brandon Russ, who's a good friend of ours, said he didn't hear anything about an LHSAA investigation until about a month after the championship. So this is April now we're talking about that he heard about an investigation. We didn't hide anything about the player, said Russ, who did not say who the player was. Russ, selected by the LSWA as the Class 1A Coach of the Year last season, said the ruling did not impact any players on his current team and that the team would remain eligible this season for the playoffs. The ruling negated for Crescent City what had been a 71-59 victory over St. Martin's in the state final at Burton Coliseum in March. St. Martin's graduates Cooper Odom, coach's son, Jofi LaForge, and Matt Weaver were leading players on a team that included LSU football signee Harlem Berry and current senior Ashton Oliver, the point guard. It's really nice for us because I thought our kids had a really great year, Gendusa said. We played really well all year long. You get to the finals and it didn't turn out our way. Does that team beat us without the player or players in question? I don't know. It's the first ever state championship for St. Martin's boys basketball. I'm really proud of that. So Crescent City knew of an investigation happening back in April after they won the championship. Coach Russ says they followed all the rules. So I really don't have nothing to say because I don't know everything. I don't. They've been accused. St. Martin's went and got the trophy. And VK, you know how I am. St. Martin's didn't win on the court. And I stick by that truly and fully all the time. You didn't win on the court, I will go with the guys that won it on the court. I feel bad for Brandon Russ, but I think you just ignited another fire under that Crescent City sports team for this season. I really think you did. And I think on January 31st, when these two teams play at Crescent City, I think I'm gonna make sure that I'm there. VK, your words.
I think I might try to come. What day is?
January 31st
January 31st.
at Crescent City.
Let me check the schedule right fast while I'm talking, because I might have to join you, because that right there is oh man, that's some bad blood about to come out in this one. I mean, it wasn't intense. You was there for the championship. It was an intense in itself because they're district rivals,
Correct.
and they met each other. I think they played maybe one time last year, except not one time for district, and it was an intense ball game, which Crescent City wound up winning. All of a sudden, it was intense again with those two teams. But at the same time, Crescent City had total control of the game all throughout and got the job done. But for this to happen, I mean, and it had to be a long, long investigation for all this to come out at this time. You know what I'm saying? Had to be a long, because a lot of times when we have seen some investigations that has taken longer than a little bit, because you got to make sure the evidence is right. You got to make sure everything is cross T's, I's dotted, and everything to know. Okay, did they really do it, or if they didn't, well, case closed. We got to move on, because but LHSA, I don't know if they found something recently, because I wouldn't be surprised they might have been this close to closing this case out and having Crescent City still be champs. Some must have leaked to something that they found, and it was like, hey, we see something wrong. We see a discrepancy. So it's a lot going on. We don't know this at all and everything else. And looking at the date, I might be joining you. You said January 31st. I think I got nothing there, man. I might be with you that night on that one. But now this is producer's bad blood more than anything else, because of the fact of what happened with the LHSA in St. Martin's. And I'm not gonna lie to you, I smell lawsuit. I smell a court case possibly coming. Not gonna say it isn't, but I'm gonna say possibly, because some might not be right with this. Some might not be right with this. So we'll see. But I ain't gonna lie, January 31st, my goodness, it's going to be something else that night on the floor. And I'm like this. Make sure you have three officials, not two. You make sure you have three officials and extra security, because it is going to be bad blood that night.
Uh, I don't think need extra security between these two teams. I don't think it's gonna go that route, VK. Not between
I
these two.
I
Not Kansas City and St. Martin's. We're gonna be all right. Trust me. They may not shake
I
hands after the game, but I don't think nothing's gonna pop off.
I'm hoping not, but at the same time, you're dealing with one school that is 60-70% Caucasian, another school that is about maybe 50, 60, 70, I'm gonna say 65% African American that go to that school.
That's
So
okay.
I'm just saying
Nothing
though,
gonna pop off
I'm
between
not
these
I'm
two
not I'm not
schools.
saying nothing bad. I'm saying something might. Just
Nothing's gonna
saying.
pop off between these two schools. They might not shake hands. Might be some trash talking on the court. Other than that, I promise you, nobody gonna fight at these two schools. George Peppers.
Okay. First off, let me address that elephant in the room about the disparity. I'm with you, Jared. I don't think something's going to pop off. I think the only thing you're going to see is extra aggressive play on the court. You may see a couple of more physical fouls, where they may just hack. But other than that, I don't believe you're going to get the excessive craziness that you worry about. And I look, as an LEO, I worry about that too, going to a sporting event, because it happens. It does happen. I don't believe in this case it will. But Jared, I have a question. Did Crescent City self-report this, or did somebody rat them out? Because I didn't hear that in
Doesn't
your
say.
opening statement. Doesn't say.
Doesn't say.
So that
Doesn't
part
say.
we don't know. So I'm not going to make any presumptions, because we don't know if Crescent City self-reported this, or if somebody said, "Hey, wait a minute, they got an illegal player." But the timeline is strange to me. This was reported back in March after they won the title, right? And the investigation started in April. We are in December, a week from Christmas. And yesterday, we get the ruling that Crescent City's got to vacate the title. And St. Martin's has now won it. Something smells amiss. And I'm not going to drum up any conspiracies to what I don't know. So I'm not going to speak to what I don't know. But the timeline feels awfully fishy. And they're a bit of, and if Crescent City can appeal it, they will. I think they have every right to appeal. I don't think there's any question that they will. Um, and obviously, we don't know who the ineligible player was, so we're not going to even begin to speculate. Could St. Martin's have won without said ineligible player, or we're not? Nobody knows that. We just know that Crescent City on the court won by 12. Game, pretty decisive, right? I think it's pretty authoritative that they double digit win in a title game. That's an authoritative win. Oh, I hate when we have to talk about stories like this because it involves some sort of chicanery, cheating of some sort. I hate to talk about these kind of stories because now the kids are involved front and center. And that is very bothersome to me. But I don't know. I don't know. I mean, we don't know a lot of. There's a lot of layers yet to be peeled off of this story. It's like an onion. You got to peel a lot of layers off to get to the ultimate truth. All we have now is that Crescent City's got to give up the title, and St. Martin's is now champs. And uh, then the game at Crescent City on January 31st is going to be interesting, to say the least. I mean, there's going to be tension. There's going to be some bad blood, but I don't believe at the end of the day that we're going to see any wildness or any real foolishness. Like real crazy stuff. I don't believe we're going to see none of that.
I'm hoping not, but at the same time,
Uh,
I'm not underestimating it because for one, it ain't just gonna be the players. You got to worry about the fan
Fans
bases
and
too.
parents,
And for
yes,
two,
They not
and
and
for
that, that fan base ain't
and
that fan base ain't doing anything either. It's not gonna happen. I
now
promise you.
I'm not listen, Jack. I understand where you're coming from. I get it. I'm just saying I'm not underestimating it, especially in that smaller gym that they're in. I'm saying anything could happen. I'm hoping it doesn't. I hope cool heads prevail that day. It could be an intense game and done for. I'm hoping for that, but I'm not underestimating it. It could, you know, we don't know. That's all I'm saying.
Not those two schools. I am adamant. You won't see none of that at
Well,
those two schools. I'm
well,
I
adamant.
agree.
No,
I agree.
no way,
well.
man.
Now, what if it does? It will shock you, right? If it does
Oh,
happen.
at those two schools, it definitely shocked me. It would. It would shock me, and I'll be like, God darn it, that VK was right on this one.
I'm just saying, being in this field for a long time, I expected. I've seen some expecting it, unexpected stuff. Trust me, I've seen it, and I'm telling you,
I have to.
I don't. I'm not saying you haven't.
I know. I just.
No,
I'm
no,
in
no.
agreement with you on that one,
Go
VK.
ahead. Okay. We good. We good. I'm sorry. We're not trying to get on each other's nerves, but at the same time, it's just a fact. I just have a hunch on things. I might be. I'm hoping I'm wrong. I'm hoping I'm wrong. You know what I'm saying? Cause I really want it to be cool heads prevail. This thing be intense. The game that'd be the only thing. The game would be intense. Officials hopefully control everything, and both coaches be classy enough to be like, "Hey, shake hands." If not, okay, let's get up out of here. We have to shake hands. The coach shake hands. We done.
If VK is
That's
right,
all we want.
uh, if VK is right, I don't think he is, but if he is, we're walking out the gym if the three of us together, walking out the gym. That's being protective. Don't need to get ourselves caught up. That crowd's gonna spill or whatever. Walk out the gym.
I ain't got nothing to
Simple.
do with it.
Me either.
I ain't got nothing to do with it.
I
So
don't
you
either.
ain't got nothing to do
I'm
with
walking.
me.
Me either. Walking out too.
Exactly. We don't walk out that gym.
Mm-mm, ain't got nothing to do
But
with it.
I don't think those with the reputation of those schools. I just don't see them
No,
being that kind of getting into that kind of chicanery. I don't think it's gonna happen.
nah, I don't think so either, George. No, not these two schools. You
Mm-mm.
talking about a Catholic school and a Christian school? I just don't. I don't see this happening,
Don't
and
see it happen.
we don't want it to happen either.
No.
Want it to stay nice and clean, a good ball game between the two. Yeah, there'll be some talking, but we still don't know who turned who in. We don't even know. We can
Yeah,
speculate,
exactly.
but we don't even know. So, but we know St. Martin's went and got the trophy, and
Mhm.
they have it in their trophy case. So, but with that being said, everybody, we're gonna take a quick commercial break, and when we return, we should have the head coach of the South Plaquemines Hurricanes football team, Coach Lyle Fitte, right here on the Hash It Out Show.
Hi, I'm Erica Randolph, head coach of the Hahnville Tigers boys basketball team, and you are watching.
Are you in need of a new windshield? Leo Autoglass can help. For 20 years, Leo Autoglass have been servicing the New Orleans area with windshield replacement and auto glass repair. Give them a call today, 504-301-8353. Did you experience storm damage from Hurricane Francine? Barretto Home Solutions can help. You can give them a call at 504-940-7552.
Green
JF.
Hey guys, this is Arkisha Baquet, the owner of Lil Dizzy's Cafe.
Man, I was hitting all the wrong buttons, man, but I found it. I got it, though. Welcome back to the Hash It Out Show. I'm your host, JB the Sports Guy, joined by VK Jones and joined by George Peppers. But our next guest, he won 2 state championships as a player at South Plaquemines High School. Now he has done it as a coach, the one and only coach, Lyle Fitte. What up, Coach Lyle Fitte? What's going on, man?
Good evening, fellas. Good evening, man. I'm glad to
What's
be on
up,
the
Coach?
Hash Hour show again, man. Oh man, I'm doing all right, man.
Coach Fitte, boy, you still sound tired, man. Like, man, boy, what's going on, man?
Man,
You
I'm
sound
still trying to
relaxed.
recover. I'm still trying to recover. It's a different feeling. It's just like any brand new event or uh new situation. It was a different time for me, as far as preparing, so deep into the playoffs and trying to get my guys prepared. So, man, that extra 3 weeks, I wasn't used to. And of course, you want the kids to elevate their play, and you have to do the same thing as a coach. So you have to, prepare longer. Make sure that you dot every I, cross every T, because the teams that you're facing, they're very well prepared, they're coached well, and you just want to make sure your guys are just as prepared.
Definitely. How does it feel, man, winning that state championship?
It still kind of feels surreal. I'm still trying to, encapture all of it. I know the kids are still living on cloud nine, within school and within the community. So I'm just happy for everyone. I'm happy for our school, our parish, everyone that has put a hand or even said a prayer, to make this all surreal. So again, I'm excited for where we are. I'm excited for where we're headed, because we have a lot of kids that wasn't interested in football or interested in playing. Now they're trying to get their act together in school. They're asking when we're gonna start back up again. And I just think the foundation has been set once again, and I think we gotta continue to build on it.
Is it more special that you won this at your alma mater?
1,000%. Um, I just believe a lot of people didn't think that it was possible. Um, you know, with it being just Crutchfield that had won a state championship in Plaquemines Parish since what, the 90s, the early 90s. So everybody just knew Crutchfield. Uh, with having a lot of coaches have the same opportunity to coach at South Plaque and never really got past the second round. It was almost like, hey, do we know how to win without, Crutchfield? Do we know how to put things together to make a deep run in the playoffs? And we had to prove ourselves every single week. Um, it wasn't easy. A lot of games we were definitely not the favorite. Uh, we had to face adversity. Uh, you know, the coaching staff, the kids, especially with the lack of numbers. We probably dressed out 25 kids, really only 16 played. So like 7 of our kids, I call them my 48-minute troopers because they don't come off the field at all. And so, you know, everything kind of had to fall in place for this to be possible. Because losing a kid, with an injury, that's like losing 4 or 5 kids because
Mm-hmm.
of how many responsibilities you ask them to do. So for us to remain healthy throughout the course of the postseason, for the ball to just drop our way, for us, you know, people say it's luck. I call it, God, and sometimes when you work hard, the ball or the call gets, you know, it shows you favor. So, everything just kind of, showed itself towards, myself and my team. And I think once it became a reality, hey, look, we're playing in the Superdome. I think our kids played the the best, the most complete 48 minutes of football they did the whole season in the Superdome. They were locked in, uh, since play one. I was trying to calm them down, but man, they was ready. They was on go. So like I said, I was proud of how they took the game plan and really executed at a high level. And that's all you want as a a coach or a coaching staff. Whatever you teach the kids, it's not gonna be perfect. But when you ask them to do certain things and you see how all of this, you know, kind of falls into place, man, I was just so proud of them, man, and they definitely deserve their flowers.
Most definitely. At one point, towards the end of the game, we
Yes, sir.
saw you run towards one of the what you call it, the chairs. You hopped on that. You said, "We back, we back." You got down, and then you fell to a knee, and then you got up, and you shook hands with everybody. Then the excitement came again. Ring me, ring me. What was going through your mind once that clock hit zero?
Um, it was a lot. Just thinking about the 10 long years that I've been back at my alma mater, whether it was being an assistant coach, whether it was being a head coach, uh, seeing the ups, the downs. I was thinking about all the different classes, the different kids that I've coached, the adversity we faced, being in Plaquemines Parish, whether it was COVID, whether it was the saltwater intrusion, whether it's just kids, leaving for different purposes or whatever the case might be. Um, the different coaches that I coached with. I was thinking about my family members that seen me through. And the ones that are no longer here with me. I was thinking about my family, my wife, my kids, about how much time, uh, you know, uh, I'm going from them, and they sacrifice, and just the hard work that the football team put in, because you got to understand, I asked a lot of them, and you know, sometimes not knowing is a good thing, because when playoffs come, we practice 7 days a week, well, 6 days a week, and then play on on Friday or whatever day it might be. So you got to think about it, over the course of 5 weeks, man, they were at practice every single day, and we couldn't miss a beat. We definitely couldn't miss a beat the week of the playoffs, because I said that in a couple other interviews. Haynesville is a program where their tradition and uh, what they do is so meticulous. You have to prepare at a state championship type level. So not so missing a day because the game was not on a Friday, it was on a Thursday. Us, my coaching staff and I, we had to make sure we had the game plan in a week ahead. So once the game was over on Friday against Logansport, we were already prepared to show the kids, hey, look, this is what we have to do. We didn't even spend time watching film on of our game against Logansport. We went straight to Haynesville because of the offense. And like I told my kids, I said, Haynesville gonna see a defensive scheme like ours. You know, they've seen many over the course of 30, 40 years. I said, but we have never seen an offense like theirs, especially all year. So our kids never seen it. And for us to put that together, the game plan together, and for our kids to communicate at a high level on that grand of a stage, I was definitely proud of them. It speaks volumes to them. It speaks volumes to my coaching staff. And, it shows, basically, man, if you keep chopping wood and keep, keep at it, the kids gonna grasp it. They want it just as bad as you do, and so it really everything came into fruition, and I'm just proud of just being a part of South Plaquemines and where we headed.
VK.
Coach Lyle, man, it's good to have you, man. And I can definitely tell you right now, since you're in present, the man of Plaquemines Parish, the man. So, bruh, I want to ask you this: how you felt about the notoriety of not just the fact of y'all winning state, but so many not besides what we did for y'all, broadcasting the games, the interviews, the highlights and stuff, but also other media publications doing big stories on you guys, and not just that, the whole school talking about how they overcame things, being in the new building, and the principal being the principal of the year, and how much she loves the school and loves yourself, the support, what you can say about all the notoriety that's been coming lately to South Plaquemines.
it's it was overwhelming, especially after the state championship game. Uh, man, I love it for the kids because the kids deserve it. Um, sometimes we get lost down there, in Barris, Louisiana, but I'm glad that they was able to put their talents on display at a high level on the same day or the same weekend as other great superstars around our state, and showed basically how we can compete and how we look compared to other great players that played in the state championship game. um I've seen a couple of interviews with my principal. She is very supportive, not only to I but to our program and to our kids. The community supported our kids, man. Like I said, our kids was getting food every single day for film sessions, catered food. They were eating 5-star meals on Sundays. Like everybody had a hand in what transpired on Thursday. Like and I think that was extra motivation for our kids because they knew exactly how much everybody invested, not only monetarily but also their time. And they definitely didn't want to let them down. They didn't want to let the coaching staff down. They didn't want to let each other down. And like I said, I'm just proud of them, and I'm proud of our whole community and the whole Plaquemines Parish as a whole. When I looked in the stands, I seen Phoenix student body with their Letterman jackets on. I seen many faces from Bell Chase. We toured Bouville Elementary and South Plaque Elementary, our feeder schools. They had some they had pep rallies for both of us. They both had pep rallies for our kids, and you gotta understand when them feeder schools. A lot of their older siblings are on the football team. A lot of their older cousins are on the football team. We had people popping fireworks as we was leaving the parish. We had 2, 3 banners to run through, and it just felt like the parish was back. It felt like we had they had a lot of hope. Uh, they had a lot of uh, they had a lot to look forward to, and you could see the smiles. You can see people crying, and you can see how much football means to our community. It gave people something to brag about again, and that comes with the territory. A lot of times, we sometimes harp on the negative stuff that's on social media about whether they talk about me, whether they talk about the team. But at the end of the day, they want to win. You know, they want to have something to brag about. They want to have something to cheer about. They want to have something to look forward to on Fridays, and they deserve that. Uh, and I think our kids, our community, our school gave that to them. I was proud of our uh, auxiliary teams. Uh, you know, our band, uh, dance, majorettes, you know, cheerleading squad. They did an awesome job. I was able to watch their performance on YouTube. Man, they deserve it. You know, because everybody feed off each other. So just having the whole body, the whole Plaquemines Parish come back, you know, it makes everything better. You know, I talked to the coach over at Phoenix, basketball coach. They don't have football, but they said, man, look, with y'all winning football, the football championship, our basketball team, hey, look, they want to win state too because they want to have something to brag about. Like they want to be on top, and that's what it's about. It's not, you know, about being divisive, you know, and a lot of times we all rival, you know, it's a rivalry. But man, you want the best for not only for the, you know, for Plaquemines, for South Plaquemines, but for the whole parish. You know, because when one succeed, everybody should succeed, and I'm just grateful to be a part of that. Sometimes you know, I kind of get stuck in the middle, but you know, I like where I'm at, and you know the you know the position I'm in to kind of, you know, be in the middle to, you know, the middle of every single part of Plaquemines Parish.
That is huge right there. And you mentioned Phoenix High. I mean, it's a great basketball program in itself, and that's another long time drought. Hopefully soon that might can end because Jared, there have been many trips for Phoenix High in the top 28, and they just never cracked the code to getting to the title game and to win it. So it's another thing, and hopefully that they can get there. I wanted to ask you about your seniors and how you felt about your seniors, how they performed all year, especially how they went out on top as state champs.
I have an awesome group of awesome senior class, man. The most unselfish group of kids you will ever meet. Um, Not only, you know, whether it's about getting the ball or the notoriety, but unselfishness with their body, man. Man, these kids are battle tested. You know, many times they want to, you know, check out or come out the game. You probably could see it, you know, during the game, whether it was Travante, you know, helmet getting ripped off and he looked like he was missing a tooth. And I asked him, I said, hey, your tooth popped out? He said, no, coach. I said, well, get back in, you know, or Donnell McGee, he been dealing with his shoulder for a long time. Um, and I asked him, I said, man, your shoulder came out or you have to come out? He said, no, coach, I'm gonna be all right. I said, well, look, all you got is one more play. I said, because look, we need you. We need you to come up big. We need the sack. You know, this is where you be remembered. And not only he came in there and gave us one sack, but he gave us two sacks. Alex Phillips, man, one of the hardest young men that you will ever get to know. I told somebody today, on top of all his stats, I said he can make a highlight tape just based off of pancakes he got from playing wide receiver because he take pride in blocking for his teammates. He's an awesome player. He played the state championship game with one leg. Like his ankle was shot from the week before, and you know during the first quarter he broke down crying on the sideline because he knew he couldn't really help us on offense. And I told him, I said, you better with one leg and 50% than anybody that we put out there. I said, man, you gotta go. And he led the team in tackles still with one leg. Like, and I put on one of the kids' posts, you know, with the transfer portal and everything going on and how hard it is to get recruited, you know, by these schools, you know, and sometimes of course they look at the size, you know, they size you up, want to see how tall and how much you weigh and you know how fast you are. I said, but they can't measure heart. And that's one thing, you know, I pride my guys on that. Hey, look, they might be bigger, they might be faster, but look, man, you gotta have that dog in you. And guess what? We're gonna outwork them. And guess what? Somebody's gonna fold. And at the end of the day, we were able to outlast them. And so I truly appreciate them guys for believing in me, because they've been with me since day one. Many a times people tried to pull them to different programs or pull them, away from our program. And I thank them for trusting me, trusting not only, their, football careers, but just their life, with me. And like I said, I'm proud of them, man, and I'm glad to forever be their coach. And I told them, I said, man, y'all gonna be legends forever. I said, the old me, I don't even want to talk about me as a player no more. They're better than me, because they did just as much or more with less. And so it's kudos to them. They really set the bar. And the next class, they already asked me, coach, when we gonna start? When we gonna start? Because they know they got some big shoes to fill, definitely.
Gotta ask you this one last question, and then I'm gonna pass it to George Peppers. Um, this was a great moment for the community, great moment for everyone in the dome, great moment for all of us. And it was a great moment for you and your family, how you shared it with your children, with your wife, but then not just that, with your former Louisiana Tech teammates who also got some state championships at Archbishop Shaw. So, for that being said, I tell you how much of that meant to you that you shared that title and that moment with your family and also your former Louisiana Tech teammates.
Man, first off, I was looking for my wife. Uh, of course, with it being my first time as a coach in the dome, I didn't know the little ins and outs of trying to get them passes and stuff like that. So I know if I'm blessed to get there again, they'll be on that floor with me. But I ended up calling them right after, and of course, they were all excited. My whole family was in the stands. Of course, they cried, and like I said, it's hard to culminate everything like over the course of 10 years into whether it's this season or that moment. But it it was great to see that on their faces and have a breath of fresh air, a kind of my wife was able to take a deep breath, because she know, during football season, I really don't sleep. Popping up and watching film, or whether I'm at the field house all day, practices and stuff. And she know how much time and effort that goes into it to be successful. uh but sometimes it get frustrating. She gets frustrated because a lot of people don't see that, that side. But so I was happy for her that she was able to celebrate and talk her stuff, to people that give her a lot of flack in the stands. So I was happy that she do that, that she was able to do that. Because like when you play sports growing up, you deal with that a lot, so I mean, I could care less, but I was happy, for her, and happy to share that moment with my kids will be able to remember that forever. They remember, getting their medals and getting the game ball, and so I'm I didn't know I was like one of the youngest coaches to win. I didn't know I was like one of two or three to win a state championship and play for a state champion and win as a player as well, at their alma mater. I didn't know about none of that. Somebody brought that to my attention. And like I said, you know, it's a it's great when you win a championship, but it means a whole lot more when you win it at home. When you able to look at family members and share that with their siblings, cousins. Like I said, me and my brothers, they all graduated from there. My best friends, we all graduated together. And so to share that after 15, 16 years, everybody was elated. Um, and then of course, I heard from Chad after it was all said and done. You did it. I said, man, now it's time for you to go get it done. And then, you know, as they, of course, won the state championship, I, I hit him up. I can't tell you what he told me, but he said we got to go celebrate. But I was happy for him and Christian, of course. because they made it to the dome 2-3 times as players and kind of fell short, man, to some great teams. But that doesn't speak of how great of a player they were. And even now, I know they even greater coaches. So again, we were blessed to, not only compete as players against each other, but we were coached by some hell of a, great coaches, and be around a great program at Louisiana Tech, where we knew how to win there. I mean, so we were able to share a WAC championship over there. We were in the top 15, top 25, you know, 2 years while I was there. You know, Chad was an all conference player. Same thing with Christian. He was an all conference player. So again, I'm glad that they were able to see the fruits of their labor, because again, you put in a lot as a coach, more than what you put in as a player, and sometimes they kind of get lost. So I'm glad them guys were able to enjoy themselves, man. They deserve it.
It's a great moment in itself, and it really reminded me so much of Marcus Scott winning the state championship for Destrehan, and he had his wife and child on the field. That was a great moment. It was kind of personal to me a bit because of the fact that Marcus Scott is married to my second cousin,
Okay.
and that was knowing I covered him, but at the same time also family in itself. So it's a proud moment, and I know it was a proud moment for you, George Peppers.
Coach Snead, first off, I got to echo my co host and say congratulations on winning the state championship. Well done. I want to start with this. Going back to when they reclassified before the year started, you guys were playing in Division 3 the last few years, and then they dropped you down to Division 4. Did you feel like the expectations were heightened when they moved you down to Division 4 before the year started?
Yeah, the expectation for me and for the team has always been a state championship. My job, as a coach, was always try my best to get these kids prepared for, whatever competition that they will face. But I knew, hey, look, with us moving to Division 4, they had some great teams, but all of the great teams, their best players, they go both ways. So it was more about um not only preparing, my better players to go both ways, which they already do, but also to get my younger guys ready to kind of fill some holes, whether that was on special teams, whether that was subbing in and out in certain situations, to provide a breather for my better players. Uh, but I knew we had a better opportunity to win state in Division 4. It kind of put us at a disadvantage playing Division 3 for the longest, because with us being uh, a small 2A school, we would have to play against big 3A schools in the playoffs, which, them teams, if you look at a Sterlington or a St. James team that played in Division 3, man, they got 80, 90 kids. They might only have one kid that might go both ways and really don't need them to go both ways. Uh, and then I got seven, and that's kind of, it was kind of hard for my kids to try and look past that. So once they realized what was going on, and not only the strength of schedule that we played and how well they played facing through adversity, man, these kids were ready, man. And you could just feel a sense of uh, determination, a sense of confidence. Uh, our kids, told our coach, he said, "Coach, we don't even have to bring them to deep waters. We just got to bring them halfway." And halfway was halftime, and they like, "Man, look, we gonna finish them now," because we've been in situations where we were down at half. We've been in situations where we had to go into overtime and outlast our opponents, and we knew that we were ready for that moment. Like I told the kids, I said, when you look at our strength of schedule, we are the hardest team that Haynesville will face in the playoffs. When you look at their strength of schedule, we will be the hardest team they faced in the playoffs, and vice versa. But like I told them, I said, man, look, we just can't let the game get away from us. Let's stay in striking distance, and again, it always come down for us. It always been penalties and turnovers. So us being disciplined, with penalties and disciplined with the ball, and we will be fine, you know. And so, you know, I wasn't totally shocked by how they played on Thursday.
Jared and I were in the Superdome Thursday watching that game, and at halftime, I turned to him when it was 7-6 in Haynesville's favor. I told him, I said, I think South Plaquemines, the way the ebb and flow of that game was going, I felt like you guys were in an awesome position to get the win in the second half. Just because Haynesville had been averaging 40 something points, but as you mentioned, your you mentioned what you guys were able to do defensively. I don't think they were ready for the speed that you guys had. Talk about how great your defense was and how key they were to give you guys this opportunity to win a state title.
Uh, our defense played a huge part, of course, providing a good field position. I believe that uh, again, they were able to take what we um, needed them to do for as game plan wise and execute at a high level. The one touchdown that Haynesville did score, that was a great call by Coach Franklin. It was something that we rarely never seen on film. Almost like a busted coverage type deal. So I gave them, kudos for that. But for the most part, when we went into halftime, we tweaked a little thing, because they went more to a shotgun where they was just trying to, get the quarterback out on the edges, uh, escape the pocket, break the pocket, because we was collapsing the pocket very well. And that they were starting to throw the ball a little bit more. So we made a few adjustments, and you could see, kind of how that gave them problems in the second half. But again, like I said, I told our kids we gonna have to defeat blocks. We're gonna have to come down and we're gonna have to tackle, because don't let the 7 points fool you. Haynesville has a great team. They have awesome athletes. They have awesome players, all state players. And sometimes, when you do something and it looks easy, you got a lot of people that say, oh man, they wasn't good at all. Sure, that team went to state last year. A lot of them kids was on the state team last year that only lost to Oak Grove, or, like, that ain't no team to sneeze at. And I just think the way our kids prepared, uh, in a way that they played, made it seem like that team wasn't good. But I can tell you, that was one of the best teams ever. I think that was a better team than they team that beat us in the state championship in '09. I firmly believe that. But like I said, I had a great group of kids that didn't back down, that was very unselfish, and that came ready to play ball, man.
I saw a team. We covered you guys 4 times this year, and I saw a team that grew up, that matured as the season progressed. You had some adverse games. You lost to Baptiste, lost a close one at Newman. What game in the season could you pinpoint and say, we just might get to the dome and win this whole thing? Was there a game like an epiphany, a moment of what game could it be that you realize,
I
man,
I
we
believe
might just get there?
I be, I believe after we lost the Bell Chase, I want to see how we was going to respond as a team after losing a rivalry game like that. We played East
Mhm.
Jeff the next week, and of course, we played it without, arguably our best player, Jaheim Williams. He was still out with his ankle injury, and we went to triple overtime with a 5A program that made the playoffs. I believe they won district, or they
They did.
you know oh, okay, and they won their district in 5A, and we took them to triple overtime, and we ended up winning that game. I realized, hey, we are working with something, and again, we all had to grow. Uh, what's their role on the team? They had to find out, hey, look, where can I help this team at? We've seen our kicker, come up clutch with a lot of kicks. Something that South Plaque really never ever had or really counted on forever was the kicking game. So we realized, hey, look, man, we got an awesome kicker. Let's lean on our, field goal team. Let's lean on our uh uh kickoff or punt teams, because the week before we had like 2-3 punt field goals blocked and return for touchdowns, and then the next week we win in a game on a 30-something yard field goal. So it just goes to show you their resiliency, and how much they were able to put the past games behind them, and was able to look forward. Also, I just felt it was guys playing, it's the semis against Logansport. It's 4th and 13. I got a lot of people probably still cursing me out about going for it on 4th down with no timeouts with 7 minutes left, and lean on a player like Rod Parker, who people doubted for the longest about being the quarterback, and he made a hell of a play on 4th and 13 and connected with Jaheim Williams to extend that drive, and we later on win that game with throwing a wheel route to Alex Phillips, and the defense shut him, shut Logansport out for the rest of the game. So we seen a lot of kids have to face adversity. We seen a lot of kids had to step up, and make plays. And again, like I told the kids, I don't care who make the play. Somebody got to do it. Like, I don't care who scored, because when we win, it says South Plaquemines, won. Or if we lose, it says South Plaquemines lost. All that other stuff, to me, it really don't matter. And I think the kids firmly bought in on that. They realized that, and it got to a point where it was like, hey, look, if you ain't getting it done, coach ain't going to sit you. I'm going to sit you on the bench. And so they started holding each other accountable on the field. They started calling, I think, Alex, Coach Lyle, because when Alex would get on him, he'd be like, all right, Coach Lyle. Because, like I said, like I said, watching the kids grow up, watching the program, grow up, and from my eyes, man, it was very, very telling, man. And like I said, I'm truly grateful and appreciative to be in this position, to speak or be the head. But we have a lot of coaches, we have a lot of players, we have a lot of admin and people, man, that's really deserving of this moment, of this state championship, and they have a lot to be proud of.
Well,
Coach Fitte, get you out of here on this one right quick. Quick answer. What did your wife tell you before the season started?
Oh, she told me we was going to win state.
Oh, there we go. All right then.
she told me, my wife, she definitely she speaks a lot of things into existence, and so she definitely told me that. And of course, me, I just kind of, I don't want to say just kind of brushed it off, like, and I'm just focusing on day by day. But every single week, she's like, y'all gonna be all right, y'all gonna win state or whatnot, just, man, something about these kids are different. That's what she kept saying. She's like, these kids don't quit like previous teams. And I'm like, yeah, okay. And just every single week, like I said, these kids made a believer out of everyone,
Yeah.
and they gave, not only me, but the community, their family, and everyone else something to believe in. And I'm glad now we're able to kind of move past that. They were able to rebuild their own foundation. This is our first state championship at the new school in Beerus. So we was able to put that into our shadow case at the new school. We were able to the day after the game, we watched it as a whole school. Our whole school rewatched the game. So we had popcorn, drinks. Every time something good happened, we screamed, they clapped, and vice versa. When things went bad, they was laughing. But and then after it was all said and done, we were all able to put it in that shadow case, and we was able to get a break as a whole school, because we all family. And whether it's you being a part of the football team or any other team that's associated with South Plaquemines High School, or if you're just a fan, that state championship is for everyone. It's not just one person. Everyone had a hand in, this amazing accomplishment.
Most definitely. Coach Lyle Fitte, congratulations on that state championship. And celebrate it and enjoy it, man. This was something to see.
Yeah, can't wait to see y'all again next year, fellas.
Definitely, man. Definitely.
Yes, sir.
Coach Lyle Fitte,
Congratulations.
ladies and gentlemen. All right. Get my man GP back in here. So, as we wait for Coach Hank Tierney to join us, so we're waiting on him. He should be popping in any minute now. So, but while we wait on Coach Hank, y'all thoughts on the year South Plaquemines had? I go with GP first.
I mean, it was a great year for them. You know, they overcame a few bits of adversity. The two losses to Belchase and Newman. I
Mm-hmm.
thought when the question I asked, he was going to say Newman. You know, because that's a 2A school that is really, really good every year. They usually make deep playoff runs, and they took those boys to the end and lost by a field goal. I think they went to overtime, but then I forgot about East Jeff the week
That's
after
about field goal.
Belchase. Yeah, and it was a great year for them, and we got to see them grow up. You know, we covered them 4 times this year, and we got to see this team mature, get better, and peak at the right time. And I repeat this again because I remember turning to you, Jared, after halftime. I said they got this game won. I felt like it, the way the tempo of the game and how the flow of the game was going. I thought South Plaquemines had Haynesville dead to rights, and we were right. You know, the 2 touchdowns in the second half, they pitched a shutout, and it was a great defensive effort and great year. The interesting thing now, and the challenge for its coming, what do they do now as the hunted now rather than being the hunter? You know,
Mm-hmm.
now that people are coming for them. And let's see how they react to that, VK.
I can definitely agree with that and everything. This has been a culmination of what Coach Lyle has really built at that program. I mean, he has continued to really turn around this program. Remember, this program has been through its highs of highs and its lows of lows, especially after the years of Sarah Crutchfield. I mean, they went through a lot. But for Mile to come to South Plaquemines at the right place at the right time, and for them to turn things around over there immediately, getting to a couple of playoff berths, but then on top of that, getting some deep playoff berths and probably one of the maybe the biggest breaks maybe in a long time for South Plaquemines that they're back. That the fact that they got back to their original division where they're supposed to be, and that's really great. And it came at a right time for them. And I just had a feeling right then and there that this could be South Plaquemines' year. They went through up and downs, but they got it together and they did it. They wound up being state champs. Congratulations and big ups to that community and for Coach Lyle and his family.
Without a doubt, most definitely, most definitely. You know, it was big seeing that whole community show up in the Superdome, and for them to get that state championship was just huge. You know, it was 16 years since they won one, and they finally got it. And
I don't think none of them sat down during the game
no, they never sat down during the game,
at all.
not at all,
I,
Mm-mm.
I
not
think
at all.
I think the sweetest thing about it is the fact when you look at the time when the humble beginnings, when they played those games at Port Sulphur, to now to the new school and everything else, for them to win it, especially 4 years into the new building, that is icing on the cake.
Without a doubt, most definitely. Um, as we wait for Coach Hank Tierney, and I'm gonna give him a call, see if he got everything. But what are your thoughts going into next year for South Plaquemines?
I think, I know it's going to be a little bit of a challenge to transition to the next year to try to defend the title. I know they're still going to have a good bit of talent back, but I know they're losing some very key seniors and everything else. But knowing Coach Coach Feet says next man up. So we're gonna see what happens with the young talent that comes through that will come up and seeing what happens. And I ain't gonna lie, I wouldn't be surprised Coach Feet might have possibly the same schedule next year. That will really totally help them because they need to really come out there and learn about not just going through things but also playing big time football. So that being said, I tell you it's gonna get better for South Plaquemines. I know they're gonna go through some growing pains early, but I think this is the type of team that will get better and better throughout the season, and maybe they'll have a chance to defend their title.
George Peppers.
It's the same schedule, VK. It'll be the second year of the 2 year cycle next year. So they're going to play the same schedule. It's just in reverse. Home games will be road games will be home games. So they'll play the same schedule next year. With that said, again, if they stay in Division 4, they're going to be one of the favorites to win it all. The thing is now, how do they adjust to the role of being the ones they're coming for? And, Lyle Fitte said this at the beginning of the interview tonight that there's a lot more interest to the football program, and they're talking about they can't wait to get out there. VK, if those numbers go up, they're going to be a problem later in the year. I agree that they'll be kind of transitional early, but you know who they can remind me of? St. James. Remember, we said the same thing about St. James before this year because they graduated a ton of talent from a team that lost a heartbreaker. The South Plaquemines team might be them. Redux Part 2. They could be the same type of team. Start a little bumpy, gets that smooth sailing down the stretch, and get that big momentum and find their way back to the Caesar Superdome. And we'll see them again next December. This could be one of those.
You might be right. You might be right on that, George. You might be right. It could wind up being that way, especially playing in that same schedule. And a lot of the games they played on the road, they'll be at home, especially the Newman ball game, the East Jet ball game. They will be hosting those two
Mhm.
teams next year.
Yep.
So that will be interesting in itself. And I ain't gonna lie, it would be great for them to take on if they play Shamanic in the Jamboree. I don't know if Shaman wants them back or not, but
Yeah, after
would
they
be
embarrassed them, I'm not sure they want that matchup again.
a rarity, a shutout, and
And
that was
how?
that was to me like that was really an eye opener right there before even the season started. A
And look where
21
Chalmette wound up this year, VK.
exactly.
Look where they wound up in the quarterfinals at Neville. And yeah, they lost, but they gave Neville trouble for 3 quarters and couldn't quite stay with him in that fourth quarter. But for South Plaquemines, it's for the community. I wish you were there to experience it, VK. I know you had other things going on with the basketball team and Patrick Taylor and everything. If you were there, you would have seen the raw, unbridled emotion and that fan base, bro. And that crowd, like I said, none of them sat down. They were on their feet, hooping and hollering all game long. Coaches were all emotional after it was over. Players were it was just natural. It was a wonderful sight to see. And look, we are not showing bias at all. We covered this team an inordinate number of times this year, and we got to see them grow up and seeing them win the title. Seeing to me the maturation of Roderick Parker, the quarterback, being more decisive in the second half of the season and really elevating his game. Jaheim Williams is a star. Alex Phillips is a star. We know this, but Parker is the quarterback, and he made the engine run, and he was great down the stretch. And I think that was a pivotal move for him to elevate his game, and that's what really helped facilitate this state title. Yes, their defense was great, but Parker made some important throws. He was 10 of 14 for 114 yards in the championship game.
And they was waiting on Parker to really be that guy
Hmm.
to take over and everything else. And what a time for him to do that. What a time for him to
Yep.
do that. And that's what you needed. They said it's not how you start, it's how you finish. So he helped out, especially with the additional weapons of Jaheim Williams, with
Yes,
also
sir.
Alex Phillips. It really was a combination of everything, especially that senior class. I mean, what a way to really, really going out knowing that you initiated you were the freshman class that opened the new school. And now you go out to school as the first graduating class from the new building and state champs. So what a way for that senior class to go all the way out. They just got to finish strong in the classroom, and I know graduation day is gonna be sweet. I know they celebrate now, but them seniors are they finish strong with them grades. Graduation day is gonna be so sweet out there in Beerus with once they finish as a graduating class. I'm talking about that 4 year class. They had already had the past four senior classes, but this one, is personal for them because they were freshmen when the new school opened. So it's amazing timing for them. Um,
The first class to graduate from the new school.
yep, first class,
That's a
first,
significant achievement.
Yep, they'll be actually they're the fourth, but the official 4 years,
First,
first
right. The
official
official
4 years.
first 4 year group to
Yeah,
go.
4 year to grow
But
because they had
we
other.
talk.
Yeah, they had other seniors the past, but you're right. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, we talked about how Edna Car impresses you with their walkout. South Plaquemines intro. If you ever go to a game at Hurricane Stadium, that's a pretty good one too. And dim the lights and all that. The lights go pitch black, and it's like it almost felt like we were at the United Center back in the '90s with the Chicago Bulls, with the way they do their intro. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's really really cool, man. It's really good right there what they're doing. I mean, we've seen a whole lot of good things and everything else. GB,
All
the head
right,
coach,
guys.
he's
All right,
actually
guys. Let me stop
Oh,
y'all right there. We're gonna get right into it. So, I'm gonna bring him in right quick, and let's see if he hears. Coach Hank, can you hear me? All right, can you guys hear Coach Hank?
no.
a bit.
That, mm,
All right, let's try this again. Coach Hank, can you hear me? Okay,
faintly, Jaron, faintly. I hear him faintly.
you hear him faintly. Okay, okay.
Yes.
All right. Hey, hold on. Let's try this again. Coach Hank, can you hear me? Can you hear me, Coach Hank? All right. So, all right. So, probably got to hang up the phone for us to hear you on the thing, Coach Hank.
While JB getting things together with
Yeah,
Coach Hank
getting
and
this
everything.
technical difficulties right. Go ahead,
Yeah,
VK.
it's okay. But but eventually we will have
All right.
Coach
Hold
Hank.
on 1 second.
Squeeze it.
Let's see if we can hear Coach Hank. Coach Hank, can you hear us?
I could hear you a lot clearer and a lot louder now.
Oh,
All right,
absolutely.
there he
Yes,
is.
we
All
got
right,
you.
there we
Perfect.
go. There
Perfect.
we go. All right, good, 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 good. All right, ladies and gentlemen, joining us now, the head coach of the Archbishop Shaw Eagles, and as you know, they won their second state championship in football this past Friday afternoon. We have the one and only Coach Hank Tierney. What's going on, Coach Hank?
Man, everything's great. In fact, I'm in Marrera as we speak. Very happy to be on the show and very happy to be representing Shaw High School.
Definitely, Coach. We are so happy for you to be on this show with us. Let's get into it, Coach. How does it feel to once again be a state champion?
Well, the kids have worked really hard for a 3 year period. And, when we came in, we just said, our goal is to get to the Superdome. We'd always say, we never say the Super, we'd say Porter Street. And every year, we got in the playoffs. The first year we won district, went out in the quarters, then we got to the semis, and then this year we finally got there. And we were able to pull it off. But it's a great feeling, man, for the whole school and for the whole West Bank community, who it looked like really got behind the Shaw Eagles in the Superdome last Friday afternoon.
Most definitely. Did you see you and your staff and your teams accomplishing this feat within 3 years?
Well, we have a great staff. Your brother's one of the coaches. When I got the job, I inherited. I kept the two guys. I kept your brother Chad, a great defensive back at Shaw. The last time they went to the Dome, and a defensive line coach Christian Lacey, who played with Chad. So I kept those two guys, and then brought in a whole new staff of guys that had worked with me, at previous places over the years. And I thought we had a great staff right from the get go. We kind of just went to work, and I thought things started to gel right from the beginning. We got better the first year, got better all through the season. The second year we were even better. I thought we were more dynamic in terms of playing better teams and doing better. And then this year, having coached these kids 3 years and having 24 seniors instead of 11 and 12, some really good players, and I just think they took off and they listened to everything we told them, and they really just believed that they could make this final step to the Dome and actually win, and that's exactly what they did.
I got to take you back to last year's semifinals against St. Thomas More. The outcome didn't go the way you wanted it to go. But do you think from that experience that the players that came back for this season learned how it would take or learn what it would take to get back to the semis and also knowing what it would take to win a semifinal game to get to a championship game?
No doubt, Jared. And I'll tell you, I've coached a long time and I've been in a lot of stadiums and a lot of hostile stadiums. But I tell you, that St. Thomas More experience is one of a kind.
Yeah.
And when we got into the game, it was packed and they played that music and they had that dynamic entrance, like a college entrance. The only other school I ever see like that is Carr, enter like that. But they actually have more people than Carr has at the games. And it was 14-14, and I'm not making excuses. They had a 2-hour rain delay, and it looked like they handled that a lot better than we did. But we knew when we walked in the stadium that night that we were in the kind of venue that hosted a big time football team. That's what St. Thomas More was. And we learned a lot about competing in an environment like that. And being in that environment, I think kind of sold the kids on, you got to be able to come into a place like this and play the football the way you've been taught to play and not be, and scared's the wrong word, not be intimidated. And I think we got a little bit intimidated as it went on, but I think we learned from that experience. And then, flip the script to this year, we were home the whole time. So now people had to come into Joe Zimmerman Stadium. We have our own environment. We have our, the Marrera song and the huge crowd and the entrance and the whole thing. And I kind of think, the kids caught on to this, and I kind of think they started believing that it was going to be very hard to come into Marrera and beat us. And that's exactly what happened for 3 weeks. And then, of course, that kind of propelled us into the dome.
Before passing on to VK Jones, what was going through your mind when that clock finally hit 0 seconds?
Well, it was kind of crazy because, we got up by 2 possessions, and then we let them in. And when they came back out when it was 28-14 and they threw on first down, I was like, yeah, we got this wishbone, this option team throwing the ball. And then they proceeded to complete 7 or 10 passes, go right down the field and score, throw the ball. And then they ran a nice play, a little reverse for the 2-point play and made it a 3-point game again. And I said to myself, well, we're going to find out about ourselves right now because our strength is running the ball.
Mm-hmm.
We need to get 3 first downs. And if we can do that, then, the game's over because they wouldn't have to use their timeouts. And that's exactly what we did. We ran Jasper just about every time, ran Mason a couple of times. And I came down to 3rd and 5, and they called their final timeout. And we told the kids, and I could kind of just see it in their eyes. We get this first down, we are the state champions. It's that simple. And, man, look, they blocked, and Jasper broke a bunch of tackles. I think we needed 5 yards. He got 6. That ended the game. But I as it counted down, I thought to myself, this is what it's like when a team comes together and they believe and they do the things they need to do. And there's no more satisfying feeling for a high school coach in the whole world than to watch that go 3-2-1-0 in the Superdome to win a state championship.
Coach Hank Tierney, man, it's good to have you, and congratulations to you, man. Hard work has really, really paid off for you, Coach.
Yes, it has. And again, I've said this a million times. I get way too much credit. There were so many people involved in this 3-year journey. I mean, our great coaching staff that we have, the great administration we have at Shaw, the student body which got behind us, the Marrera community and the West Bend community which rallied behind us. And I just think it was a tremendous joint team effort of everyone involved, the old Shaw guys, the alumni, the whole bit that just kind of got behind us and brought us home.
And that is absolutely the first question I'm about to get to, because this was a moment in time more than anything else that you see a lot of alumni like Kendall Bussey and Mickey Joseph, Sharon Carey, and also you got Chad Boyd, Doug Miller on your staff. And I mean, I played against Doug Miller, and it's amazing that alumni waited a long time to finally get it done. I know that was really big for them personally.
Well, going back with me, I started there in 1977. So I coached a lot of those guys from the 77, till I left in 2001. And then Duck played in the 90s. So he had his crew that he played with. And then Chad and Christian played on the 3 years they went to the Dome. So they had their crew. So, everybody just came together, and it'd been a long time in coming. It'd been 37 years since the state championship happened, but it'd been, like 17 years since we got to the Dome. So I kind of just think it all fell into place at the right time. And man, I saw so many alumni, and then leading up to the game, I just got hundreds of texts. And then after the game, and I'm gonna tell you what was a great feel when the buses rode back on campus, coming from the Dome. I'm telling you, there had to have been 1,500, 2,000 people there. And it was really it was like Christmas Day. It was like Mighty Gras. Just so many people waiting for the buses. And it just kind of showed, just how many people really love Archbishop Shaw High School, and how many alumni just never forgot where they came from. And it was just a tremendous feeling as you rolled in to see all those people, and the kids I know were excited. And I mean, it was just a really great day for Archbishop Shaw High School.
Now, actually, there's one question on Pastor to George Peppers. Your thoughts on your senior class and how much they meant to you, and also being a part of that rebuild of this Archbishop Shaw program, of how they continue to get better and better, and for them to get the ultimate payoff and becoming state champions.
Well, the first year, and you hit the nail on the head. The first year we had 11 seniors. In fact, we had 12 and one quit, so we ended up with 11. Then just last year we had 13 and one quit. We had 12. This year we had 24 seniors. So 24 guys who'd stayed in the program for 3 years and just worked, to be champions. And then when you look at the senior class, because when we play next year, I'm gonna say, "Oh Lord, where they went." But when you look at the seniors and you realize how much they contributed, and not just Jasper and Mason. Everybody knows them guys. Everybody knows Jacob. But the defensive lineman, Gibson Lamine. The offensive lineman, Big Adam Lamarck. Stephen Ewan, Gavin Richard, 3-year starter, 3-year all-district player, Caleb Williams. I mean, these seniors have contributed so much over the 3 years. And I tell you, it's kind of remarkable. We won 30 games in 3 years. You look at any program around the state, and that's hard to do. It's hard to average 10 wins a year, and that's what these seniors did. And then, to put it all on the line in the Superdome Friday and come out on top. And obviously, great kids, great leaders, and kids who really love Shaw High School.
George Peppers.
Coach Hank Tierney, first off, congratulations on winning a long overdue state championship, second one at Shaw after 37 years. Talk to me about the season in review. And I really want to focus on the Lafayette Christian game, because you guys really struggled the first 3 games. Carr and Rummel handled y'all pretty good the first 2 of the first 3. Sandwiched in there was a shutout of West Jeff. But the Lafayette Christian game kind of opened some people's eyes and said, and for me, it was like, because I picked you guys to win the state title before the year started, a little added extra pressure. But I felt like that Lafayette Christian game was a turning point for y'all. Do you feel that way too?
Yeah, of course. I knew you were probably feeling a little bad after them first 2 games, 2 of them first 3.
Yeah, no.
But I'm gonna tell you, I scheduled. I made the schedule, and I could have made the schedule easy, but I deliberately scheduled hard because I thought we were going to be a good football team, and I've always believed that in order to be good, you have to play good competition. Now you run the chance of getting kids hurt, and we lost. Maybe our best defensive player, Sheldon Green. In the fall scrimmage, then he got hurt again against Rumble. So when you play good teams, you run that risk, but you have to play good competition to get better. You don't get better beating people 35-0, 42-0. You have to play good people. And then maybe Carl was a bit much, but we knew how good Carl was. Nothing but respect for them. And we wanted to find out and just about ourselves. Well, after the Carl game, we knew what areas we had to improve in, and we knew where we had to get better. Then, like you said, we played West Jeff, but then boom, here comes Rummel. A very good Rummel team who we had beaten the year before for the first time in 19 years. And I might add a very angry Rumble team trying to get a little revenge. But that was a 21-21 game going into the fourth quarter. So we played with Rumble the entire game, and honestly, they kind of just physically beat us in the fourth quarter and wore us out. But still, we were undaunted after 3 games. But then, like you said, we rode into Lafayette against a very good Lafayette Christian team, which had been in the Dome 3 of the last 4 years, and a very confident team that had a big crowd there. And of course, that was the game where Jasper had 300 something yards and broke the individual school rushing record. But we played really good that night in every area. And of course, we won the game, and then we proceeded to win 11 straight games. So that game was the turning point in the season. First, gave us a lot of confidence. And then along the way, we beat a very good St. James team and went to the Dome, a very good Walker team who got to the quarterfinals, and then, obviously avenged ourselves with a team we couldn't beat the last 2 years, St. Charles, and of course Belchase. So by the time we hit the playoffs, we were rolling. And then it was not easy. No one can say this state championship came easy because both John F. Kennedy and Madison Prep were 2 of the better teams in the state. And we won both those games in the last minute, which when you can do that, it says something about the character of your team. So, we just met every obstacle in our way, and we met and overcame everyone. And then we rode into the Dome, a very confident team, played a very, very good team and a very good program at E.D. White, and ultimately came out on top. But it wasn't easy. But, nothing gained, to win something like a state championship. It's not going to be easy. It's going to be hard. And ours was hard. And we did triumph. And obviously, the end results were what we wanted them to be.
You've had a few days to digest this now. State champions 2024. As we flip the calendar to 25, what's the challenge? What's going to be the challenge for you to keep these kids eyes on the prize, try to go back to back? What's going to be the challenge for you and the coaching staff?
Well, we get 10 starters back on defense. I think we'll be one of the better defensive teams in the state next year. But obviously, every kid who touched the ball, every point, every yard, all of those guys were seniors. So that's a lot of yards and a lot of touchdowns to replace. I think we only kicked one field goal the whole year. I mean, we got the ball down there, we scored. And we scored a lot of touchdowns. We averaged a lot of points. And we only averaged 1 point a game. Actually 1.2 points a game. So the challenge is to replace tremendous skill players on offense. And then obviously we had the best kicker, if not the best kicker in the state, one of the best kickers in Henry Cardenas, and he was a senior. So we have some big challenges ahead of us, and we're not gonna worry about them until January 6th when we come back. We're gonna enjoy the state championship for the next 2.5 weeks and then start working on 25. But our big challenge is the offense.
As you should enjoy it, Coach. Jared, go ahead.
Coach, I got 2 more questions and I'll get you out of here.
No problem.
First question, your thoughts on the Jacob Washington touchdown to end the first half that tied the game up at 14?
Well, it's kind of funny because, and I said this in the press conference, like 3 plays before we had run the same route and we had thrown a quick out to Jasper, Jasper, and he got out of bounds. And Mason told me, because for some reason they used their timeout. Mason told me, he said, Coach, it's wide open. If I pump it to Jasper and throw it deep to Jacob, it's going to be wide open. I said, Mason, let's get the field goal. Let's complete a pass and get field goal range. I'm thinking field goal the whole time. I'm thinking let's try to be 14-10 at half. So sure enough, we complete about a 15. Get in field goal range. Okay, and then he got 12 seconds to go. So the clock stopped. So we got a down to play with. So we called the play. And look, I said this too. Over the years, if kids tell me something 200 times, 199 times, I don't listen to them. Usually kids don't see what's really going on. But Mason was emphatic, and they were emphatic that the corner was going to jump, that the safety was going to jump out. So we came back and called the play, and exactly what Mason said happened. Jasper ran a quick out. He drew everything to him. Mason pumped, and the corner let Jacob go. and the safety bit on the out. So when Jacob turned up, and y'all saw there wasn't about within 25 yards of him, and then I almost had a heart attack because he almost dropped it. He was so wide open, and he said the whole time he was in the air, he was thinking, "Don't drive it, don't drive it." And as you guys know, that's the hardest catch when you got times the thing that slipped all the way down to his knees. Okay, and then he brought it back up, and then I started thinking to myself, of all the games they got video, they got instant replay in the state championship game. Man, I'm gonna die if they go back and look at the camera and he didn't catch it. But when I watched the replay on the big screen, I saw that he caught it. So that's what happened right before half. And what that did, guys, was give us an incredible momentum. You know, I thought E.D. White had whipped us in the first half. I thought they controlled the game. I thought they dominated the game. But here it was 14-14. So we told our kids at half, look, we played a terrible first half, and it's 14-14. Let's play sharp football in the second half, and we can win this thing. And that's exactly what happened.
My last question, Coach. I tell people all the time that they can make a movie about your coaching career since you started at Shaw and going to West Jeff, Ponchatoula, and back at Shaw. But I also tell people that the coaching staff that you have right now at Shaw, their stories can be included in your movie. For instance, Coach Mike Biamonte, he's been with you forever at Shaw, West Jeff, and Ponchatoula. Chad Boyd, he played in 3 straight championship games for Shaw, lost all 3. He came back to coach at the program when it was going through a bad time. Kristen Lacey, 2 state championship games, came back to coach at Shaw when it was going through a bad time. Everybody's story, everybody has a story. Duck, Coach Giglio, everybody on your coaching staff has a story that can be told. A lot of your coaches were so emotional after winning this state championship. Talk about your coaching staff for a minute because I know you're so proud of them.
You know, everything you said is so true. You know, it's always helpful when guys, when you know, there's coaches and you coach at a school, but when you coach at a school that you played at, like in the case of Chad and Christian, in a school that you love, then it's different. You know, it's different. No matter how you slice it, it's different. You know, I had Chad in summer camp. You know, my last year at summer camp, Chad was like 10, 11 years old. And he told me his counsels were Terry Jones and Carlos Jones and them guys. And that's why Shaw. You know, he had them guys that were great Shaw football players were his camp counselors. You know, so Chad and I go way back. So, you know, Chad bleeds green and white, you know, and then when he came to Shaw, you know, I saw them games in the Dome. Shaw had great teams that year and just had the bad luck of running into that basket machine that they had up there for those 2 years. So, you know, Chad bleeds green and white. Same with Christian. I didn't know Christian, but I knew he was a great player because I followed his career in high school just like Chad was. You know, so them guys, it really meant more to them, you know, really than a normal coach because this was their school. They were coaching at the school and they played that and having the opportunity to give this school a state championship. Then Duck Miller, you know, D'Artagnan Miller, he played for me in the 90s, was a great football player, you know, one of the best receivers I ever coached. And he had 2 sons playing at the school on the team. And he was instrumental in getting me back to Shaw, you know, so I know how much that meant to him. And then Mike Biamonte, as crazy as this sounds, I got him. I gave him his first job. Then I worked for him in Ponchatoula for 3 years. He was the head coach, and I was the assistant. And then when I got the job back at Shaw, he was the first guy I called. Frank Alello was on our staff 22 years ago. Was the head coach at East Jefferson. When I got the job, he called me and we got him back. So we had so many guys with Shaw ties. Ian Walters, who helped back with the offensive line. He was a college player. It was a 3-year starter for us at Shaw in the middle 90s. You know, so when you get those guys with the ties to the school that they coach, it even means more. And that's why everyone was so emotional after the game. I mean, it wasn't just, you know, another game. It was something that had eluded Shaw for so long. And then the school had gone through such bad times, as y'all know, it lost a lot of games. Enrollment was down, morale was down. I mean, the first spring game we played Franklinton in the spring 3 years ago. We got on the bus to come back after the game. Mike Biamonte looked at me and said, "Man, what did you get me into?" You know, that's how bad we were. You know, but I said, "Hey, man, we did it at West Jeff, we did it at Ponchatoula. We just got to go to work." And then, like I said, we had the great staff. We had the kids, that wanted to be good. We had the back of the administration, Father Steve, Nick Marchese. Nick played at Shaw. He was a principal who was a good football player at Shaw. Father Steve, dynamic guy. So I mean, we just had everything in place. We just had to go to work, man. We just had to get the kids to believe, and that's what happened. And look, the enrollment's up. We're a little worried about it being so up. We might be in that Catholic League in 2 years. It is what it is. We in the Catholic League, then we gonna roll. We just gonna go to work in the Catholic League. And honestly, without being cocky, other than call, I think we'd have done fine in the Catholic League this year. We play, like I said, we played the Rumble for 3 quarters. I think we are for one more year. And if we got to go to the Catholic League in 2 years, we sure. We're gonna be ready to go. We're gonna build on this. We have 104 kids on the team, 48 eighth graders, best eighth grade team we've ever had in the history of the school. So the future's very bright. Enrollment's up. Everything is going in the right direction, and I'm just happy for everybody involved.
Guys, quick story. So in the summertime, there was a 7-on-7 event at Hornville, and
That's
I'm on the
right.
sideline. Coach Hank walks up to me and he says, "Hey, stop saying we're going to the dome." But I think we're going to be there.
I know you had pictures. You had said you had pictures to go to the dome, and it's kind of funny. We went to Chalmette for our last 7-on-7 on a Thursday morning. It was the last practice of the summer. And when we came back, we got on the Claiborne and we circled around. There was the dome right there to the left. And all the kids were on the bus. And I didn't think about that. I just started pointing the dome and screaming right then and there. That's where we're going to be Friday the 13th. That's where we're going to be. And every day, the week we played, the kids would remind me of that. They say, "Coach, remember what you said? That's where we're going to be." And that's where we are. So that was kind of the goal. Jared, it was the goal. It was the unspoken goal. We going to the state championship game. We need to do what we need to do, and that was the goal. We got to the semis last year. Let's follow that to progression, go to the dome, and it worked out. And listen, I've had better teams not get to the dome. The team in '97 that got to the dome and lost, and then in '89 and '90, we had Pat Riley and Vance Joseph, and college players, and didn't get past round 3. So this is a special team, man, to do what they've done, overcome the odds, do it in 3 years and win a state championship. Man, these guys, it says something about the character of these young men.
Wow. Very much amazing. Hank Tierney really, really put a lot of work into this program that you built, and very much amazing stuff. Coach, from on behalf of the Hash Hour Show, we definitely appreciate you joining us on the show tonight, and congrats on your state championship. Big ups to you and that Shaw community, and we will talk to you back soon. Thank you so much for joining us.
Hey, man, you guys do a fantastic job of covering prep football. And it was absolutely my pleasure to be on your show. Hope to see you guys soon. If not, hey, if not, if I don't see you soon, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year's. Have a great
Same
day.
to you. Same to
Same
you,
to you,
Coach.
Coach.
Same to you,
Thank you,
Coach.
Coach Hank.
Yes, sir.
That was Coach Hank Tierney. I got kicked out for some reason. What did I do? I got kicked out. But VK, thank you, man, for taking over.
No problem. I knew something was up, and I was like, I see you disappear. I'm like, what's going on? And I said, let me go ahead and close this quickly.
Yeah, you did it because
So
I'm trying to get back in and it wouldn't let me. I'm like, what is going on? But shout out to the great VK Jones. But man, just Archbishop Shaw winning this state championship, man, it just meant so a lot to the whole West Bay community, the Shaw community. Just meant so much, man. And for Coach Hank and his staff to get this done in 3 years. I mean, he's been there 3 years since he came back. It speaks a lot about the testament of him being able to, he and his staff being able to reach these kids and these kids believing in them, George Peppers.
One of my closest friends works with me at the sheriff's office, and I told him a couple of years ago when I started working there, when Hank got hired, that it would take, and I didn't even think about it until he reminded me Monday. I completely forgot He had said, he reminded me, he goes, "You remember you told me it would take Hank Tierney 3 years to win state?" And I was like, and then I started flashing back, thinking, I'm like, I know we had that conversation, but I don't remember saying that. He goes, "Yes, you did, 100%." And I'm like, okay, I'll take that. I'll take that shot. But the fact that they've won it. I mean, look, and if we hang our hats on being right on things, it's just the fact that and Coach Tierney's words mean so much to us. They mean a lot. The fact that, we get that praise, it means so very much because we do what we do because we love what we do. And him winning a state title, I was in the press box, in the fourth quarter because, although I had in between game thing to do, and Ken Berthelot was the great Ken Berthelot was standing next to me. And he was like, "You have any ties to Shaw?" I said, "Yeah, my brother's an alumnus, and one of my best friends is an alumnus, and I have a lot of friends, so this means a little bit more." And when they won it, he gave me a hug, and then he went and patted me on the back. My brother, who was the color analyst, and I thought, that's the worst place. I mean, look, it's a great place to be, but it's like his school just won the state title, and Ken Trahan tried to get him to sing the fight song on air. He tried to get him to sing the fight song on air. It's like, "Money man, don't step on baby one time." And he was like, "I did play in the band, but I don't, I'm not a singer's voice." And it was a funny exchange. And then when he came out of the press box and we, passed each other, I gave him a big hug and congratulated him. And because I could see it in his eyes what it meant. And I know what it meant to you when I saw you on the field after I got done. I saw it in your eyes. I mean, I read people. I do this every day, so I know how to read body language. And I saw it in your eyes, like, man, we did it. We did it. It was a beautiful thing to see. And and I'm proud of the fact that they won. Made a heck of a week for the West Bank, didn't it? 3 titles, BK. 337 can talk, but we can talk loud too. We got 3 titles as well.
Yes, yes, we can talk too, man. And I tell you,
We
man,
can.
me and Coach Hank goes way, way back, man. And for me being a young man myself, and could have went to Archbishop Shaw, but I went to the other side. But at the same time, knowing who he has coached, the people I grew up with that went to Shaw, the families that my family, a good bit of my family, Archbishop Shaw graduates, people around the neighborhood. It was big for them to get there. I went hugged a couple of people, including Chad, including Doug Miller. You know what I'm saying? Me and Doug Miller went against each other a couple of times. And I'm gonna say this to Doug Miller, his senior year, and I was just saying, oh, we took him out. We beat him twice that year. We beat him in the regular season. We beat him in the second round of the playoffs. You got your ultimate revenge, my brother. Congratulations. You have a state title. I'm very, very happy for you. And at the same time, you know what I'm saying, in this Shaw community, for them to finally get it done is amazing, especially for the city of Marrero, especially another West Bank champ. It's amazing what has happened. But I just know a lot of curses fell this whole weekend. I've seen a whole lot in my 19 years of this business. And a lot of good and new unexpected champions has happened. Even with this division thing. I just know one thing in my mind right now, and I'm going to continue to hope for it, and I'm going to continue to push for it. St. Augustine, it's time to crack that code. It's time to crack that code. That code has got to be cracked. It's got to be cracked. Because remember, they have not been in the state championship game since 1979. They have never been to a dome setting. It's time. It's got to happen. No pressure. And I'm not going to even taunt it. I'm just saying it's got to happen. If Eric had got to the dome first time in the 80s, it's got to happen to us. And that's all I got to say about that.
Well, we
All
got
right.
there in
I,
2015. So
I'm about to let me get back to Archbishop Shaw. All right. Let me get back to Archbishop Shaw, man. From my perspective, it was great. Being with the media and at games, we have to stay neutral as much as we can be.
Exactly.
and I'm on the sideline. I really couldn't show any type of emotion or anything like that. A couple coaches did come up to me, hug me. I hugged them back. I did, but you got to stay neutral. But deep inside of me, man, I was so happy, man. I was so happy. I am Shaw Eagle till I die with the Shaw blood, and I was just so happy. Happy for Coach. Happy for my brother. Happy for the coaching staff, the community, the school, and every alumni. And there was alumni there that Coach Hank coached. There was alumni there that Coach Hank didn't coach. That was all in the lobby. I went into the lobby at halftime and saw all those people: Darius Robinson, Darian Van Court, Chris Current. They all were there, man. Everybody from Shaw was there, and it was just a great moment. Great moment to be there to see that. And I'm happy for the entire Shaw community.
Did you sing the alma mater, my friend? If you
I
did,
was I was out of there. I was in the press conference room
okay,
before they
okay.
started singing it. But my cousin who was there, her daughter goes to Dunham. She recorded it for me. She recorded it for me. Yeah,
Wow,
she
that's
recorded it for
awesome.
me. So it was great. All right, guys, let's move along because I did ask you guys about some things last night, and I want to start with you, George Peppers. In your mind, who was the best player in the Prep Classic?
Hmm. Um, I know what I said last night, and look, the man set a record. Jonathan Dartes. John Dartes, 47 carries, 229 yards. Was an amazing performance. And to me, the other player that had the biggest impact was the kid from Carr, the defensive end. He paid rent, bought a recliner, got a TV and a remote, and lived in Alexandria's backfield. His name escapes me.
Richard Anderson.
Richard Anderson. He lived in Alexandria. I think he had the biggest impact. But another player that I think made some tremendous plays
You naming
in
so
his
many
game.
players, man. Who the main one?
Oh, Dartes is my guy.
All right, here we
Dartes
go.
is mine.
Dantes is yours. All right.
Yep.
VK, who's yours?
Whew, tough one. I got to go with Richard Anderson. I got to go with Richard Anderson. I think he should have been the most outstanding player of the game. I can understand they got to get to the offensive player, and even though the 4 interceptions for John Johnson, he still had over 358
Total yards.
total yards and 5 touchdowns,
Yes.
regardless of the fact, and had a better second half. But I definitely give it to Richard Anderson. He dominated and created so much havoc for that Carr defense to hold a very unbelievable Alexandria team to just 8 points. So, for that being said, Richard Anderson.
And my pick is also Richard Anderson from in the car. Unblockable, getting to the backfield, causing chaos, causing havoc. He was a man amongst boys that day in the Prep Classic. Okay, so Troy wants to know, George, who was the third one you was about to name?
Jackson Furman, Central's quarterback.
Central's quarterback Jackson Furman.
against
Okay.
against against Ruston, who had came in with an advertised defense. He carved them up like a Thanksgiving turkey in that game, and a 42-0 win. That was the most complete effort by any team this weekend. Was Central's win over Ruston.
All right. Good. Doug Miller says number 55 from Shaw. That's who he's going with. That is his son.
Hey, not
DJ
a
Miller.
problem, bro.
Ain't nothing
Not a
wrong with
problem.
that,
Doug.
Duck. Nothing wrong with
No, sir.
that, man. Yes,
No.
indeed. Yes. Troy also says Richard Anderson. All right, guys. Now, from best player in the Prep Classic, who is your overall player of the year? I'll start with George Peppers.
They gave it to, the Greater New Orleans Quarterback Club honored John Johnson as the best player of the year. I mean, he was on the best team of the year. Um, I guess I would follow suit and go John Johnson because, as far as impacts, look at his numbers. I think he had a combined 52 touchdowns in the regular season, and then of course he added to it in the playoffs. Um, I'm not saying without John Johnson, They don't win the state title because that team was just on overload at Nakar. But VK, for me, it's John Johnson from at Nakar, the quarterback.
Jaheim Williams from South Plaquemines says Chef Soldier.
So, yeah.
Jaheim Williams made the Louisiana Football Coaches Association Class
Yep.
1A second team All State team. So congratulations to him.
Yep.
There's two different state teams, the LSWA and the LFCA.
Mhm.
VK, your thoughts on the best player of this year?
Well, my choice for player of the year is definitely obvious. It's John Johnson. John Johnson has just been consistent all year long. It doesn't matter if he's on the best team in the state. He has been very consistent all year long, throwing the football very, very well. His experience tells it all for himself, and him using his arms and his legs. He really had added a weapon more than anything else, especially in the Shaw game in bad conditions for him to run the ball. And that really was a game changer, big time for Ed Nicole, because knowing he could throw it, now he can run it too. And he used his legs in the second and third round of the playoffs to help them get over it, get over the hump, get to the dome. And I tell you, man, and the scary part about John Johnson, one more year.
Mm-hmm.
I like that man, and he's done some great things. I'm more greater than his dad, and I know his dad is loving it. John Johnson's my choice for player of the year.
Definitely, definitely. Anthony, I'll get to your question a little later on. After we do these topics. I agree with Doug Miller on this one. I would have said Nate Shepard too until he got hurt. I definitely would have said Nate Shepard. But I'm with you all with John Johnson also. John Johnson over 3,300 yards, maybe 3,400 yards, right around 900 yards rushing, buku touchdowns, and he did this in the Catholic League. He did it against the state champion in Shaw. And remember, there was a canceled game against Opelousas, and he did all of this. He beat defending state champion St. Thomas More. He beat defending state champion Catholic of Baton Rouge. Yes, Chef Soldier. He did have three D1 wide receivers he was throwing the ball to. Yes, he did. Yes, he did. Yes.
But
But
somebody got
that doesn't take away from the fact that he was a great quarterback. And what he did in the Catholic League is second to none. In the toughest district in the state. So John Johnson gets my vote as well. And he's coming back for another year. All right. Now, our coaches of the year. Class 1A, George Peppers. Who's your Class 1A coach of the year?
I could easily go and defer to the Vermilion Catholic head coach, but I'm going to go another route. Only because the burden of expectations for this year, this team wasn't slotted to get to the Superdome when they did. Outperform expectations. Stephen Fitzhugh, Washington Christian. It's easy to go with the champ, but Fitzhugh's team was not picked by any prognosticators to get to New Orleans. No one fancied them to get there, and they did. And to me, I think it's Fitzhugh.
Okay, VK, who's yours?
well. I'm gonna go another route in itself. You know, a year that a team almost got over the hump, but at the same time really has been building and building and building, and they just kept on digging. They came up short, but at the same time, I mean, what a year for Central Catholic and the year they had this year. And I got to give it to their head coach that had led them to this
Central Catholic or Covenant Christian?
cup. I'm sorry, Covenant Christian. My bad.
Gotcha.
That my bad. Covenant Christian's head coach, and I think he really done great things with this program. They've been working and working over the years for them to get to this level here and this close to getting to a semifinal. Vernon Wells done some very unbelievable things this year. So Vernon Wells is my choice for the Class 1A Coach of the Year.
All right. So I know Brock Prejean from Vermilion Catholic got it from Go Preps, and we'll see. Um, did he get it for the Louisiana Football Coaches Association? Let me check right quick because I have it on here. Yeah, he got it for Louisiana Football Coaches Association. Brock Prejean. But I didn't go Brock Prejean. I didn't go Brock Prejean. I went with Lowell Narcisse from Ascension Catholic. First year head coach, got to the semis. You lose to
Chad Elsie.
no, you lose to Washington Christian by 2 points.
Yeah, but he lost his running back
I know he lost
in
his
that
running back,
game.
but I'm just saying he still lost the game, George. He still lost. He,
Okay.
he lost, but he lost by 2 points to Washington Christian. Um, what a year for Ascension Catholic, almost getting over the semifinal hump to get to the Superdome. I got Lowell Narcisse as my Class 1A Coach of the Year. But I like everybody's choices, to be honest with you. I like all y'all choices. Class 2A, George Peppers, who you got?
That's Catholic of New Iberia, Matt DeSormo. I don't think there's any question that he wins Coach of the Year. To me, that team was a 7th seed, and look at the road travel to get to New Orleans and win the championship. They beat a Newman team that was very highly regarded, shut them out on the road. Then they go to Shreveport the next week and play Calvary Baptist, the reigning state champions, and win that game on a walk-off field goal. Say what you want about how that happened, doesn't matter. They get to the Superdome, get outscored early, 14-3, then run in front 31-14 and had to hold on at the end. And Eugene makes that incredible play. They lose that game if he doesn't make that play. So I think it's Matt DeSormo, Catholic of New Iberia, as my 2A head coach of the year.
VK.
I like the DeSomo pick, and I like what he's done this year and everything else. But I gotta go with Lyle Fitte. Lyle Fitte, what he had to go with this year for him to get that team over the hump to get back to the Superdome, and not just that, to finish the job to win the state championship. My choice for 2A Coach of the Year is Lyle Fitte.
George, your pick is a great pick, and I won't argue it. I won't debate it at all because it is a great pick.
It
Matt
is.
DeSormo and what he did, ain't nothing wrong with that pick. But me and VK are in agreement. I'm with Coach Lyle
But Lyle
Fitte.
Feet was 1A plus 2 for me. That's how close it was for me. And Lyle Feet, it was apples and oranges pretty much for me.
Definitely. Yeah, I got
So
Coach Lyle Feet, man. The job he did
that's
with this
cool.
team, South Plaquemines, I got Coach Lyle Feet. But Matt DeSomo, you can't go wrong either. Not at all. Cannot go
Absolutely.
wrong.
Mm.
All right, guys. Class 3A. Who you got, George Peppers?
This is a tough one. Um, I could go Jimmy Hillman from Bunkie, because they had an incredible season, got to the semifinals and got out to a quick lead on Dunham. But I'm going to go with the man that won the state championship, because that team, although they were regarded to make a run, that game cemented it for me. Lee Doty, Sterlington. Or I could have gone the other way and gone Levanta Davis as well, because that team was not expected to get there at all.
Mhm.
Remember, they replaced, I think, 16 starters, I think, or something. Oh, they lost 16 or 17 seniors off the team last year. This was another tough decision. But that second half that Doty put together, that his staff put together to win that game, that's coaching. He recognized St. James' strengths and took it away from them in the second half. And for that, in a close vote, VK, I got Lee Doty.
VK.
I like the Lee Doty thing. I think for that team to get on fire at the right time, it's a really really good choice and everything. But for me, I I gotta go with Levanta Davis. I have to, for bringing a young team like that, full of freshmen and sophomores and not too many juniors, to a state championship game. That says a lot. And then on top of that, losing what you had before and for them to bring them back is amazing. And it's setting up a great future at St. James High School. My choice for 3A Coach of the Year, Levanta Davis, St. James.
And my coach is Lee Doty as well. George, we in agreement. Lee Doty, they played a brutal schedule. Brutal
Yes, they
schedule.
did.
And they lost some of those games, and people had counted them out, and they proved everybody wrong. I'm going with Lee Doty. But Coach Davis, what he did, second to none.
Incredible.
I can't argue with that either. VK, it's a good choice. Class 4A. Who you got, George Peppers?
Oh yeah. This is another tough one, but I'm going to go with the living legend, Hank Tierney, Archbishop Shaw. How do you not? Some teams would have got discouraged with the way Shaw was not competitive against that in the car, but they stood with Rummel 21 up, go to the fourth quarter, lost that game because Rummel got away. I think an avalanche of things happened in that fourth quarter. Um, for me, but the way Shaw bounced back, how they just emphatically punished Lafayette Christian, and then they just dominated the second half of the season. And the gut check that they had 3 straight games in the playoffs. Kennedy, Madison Prep, and E.D. White. Those 3 gut checks, 2 goal line stands, and a possession to hold on to win. Hank Tierney did a masterful job putting all that talent together and manifesting it and getting a state title. VK, Hank Tierney is my coach of the year.
Well, I have
What's up,
to.
Lucas? What's up, Lucas? Lucas is a guy that works in the media department with Southeastern Louisiana. So we met him at the during the
Um,
state championships. So man, cool guy, cool guy. What's up, Lucas? Go ahead, VK.
Absolutely. My vote and for a coach of the year, and there's been some good coaching jobs, but I have to agree with George. It's obvious. Hank Tierney for really has really put Shaw back on the map, but then on top of that, got Shaw back to the dome, and on top of that, they broke the curse, and now state champs. First time since '87. So, but it's the hard work for Hank Tierney building that program back up. So Hank Tierney is my choice for coach of the year.
A lot of coaches you could pick in this one. I mean, Coach Salt, Coach Coach Gaines. They did a
Yes.
wonderful job this season. But my coach of the year is also Coach Hank Tierney for the job he's done at Archbishop Shaw. Definitely Coach Hank Tierney. All right, guys, we got one left. Your 5A coach of the year, George Peppers.
5A coach of the year. This after what we saw Saturday. How do you not give it to this man, David Semino? You know, that was a brutal beating of a very high octane Ruston football team. David Semino, that was quote the perfect game executed. It felt like a perfect game in baseball. They did barely anything wrong. Ruston's offense, Joshua Brantley, legit D1 player, 90 yards. 30 yards passing, 90 yards total for the Ruston Bearcats. By the way, guys, that's a new state record at the highest classification. And the other coach that I had, but they were expected to be here. Semino's team wasn't. The other coach I had in mind was Bryce Brown to manage that talent and manage the expectations and really give it to them the way they did. I don't blame anybody if they go Bryce, but I'm gonna go Semino because that was a destructive beating of Ruston and what they did in the playoffs on their way. Winning at Neville and winning against Ruston. 2-5A wasn't that good, I guess, because all 3 of their teams got pasted in the playoffs.
VK.
Well, I have to. I'm gonna have to go that route myself. Co-coaches of the year, Bryce Brown, because of the fact of capping off the greatest 3 years of Edna Carr in their history of only losing one game in the Cat League, and for them to finally get to the Dome, not just winning it all, but dominating a very good team and having maybe one of the most complete performances we've maybe ever seen in the Dome. So Bryce Brown is one of my coaches. The other coach is David Seminole. It's no doubt. And I said it on this show years ago. David Seminole, when he got hired, I said, give Central 2 years. Give him 2 years. This is the second coming of Sid Edwards. And I was dead right. David Seminole, Bryce Brown, my coach of the year in 5A.
Oh, you picking two of them.
Yes, I'm going with the Colts. It was gonna be Bryce, but after what happened in that second game, because at first we did agree, said South Plaque and Carl was the two top, but I was before the Central game, and what I said, I'm like, South Plaque is gonna have to go down number 3 because what Central did, that's number 1, and it's like, oh my God, it's just we thought the Carl one was like that one. What I seen that first half in the Central game was like these people are doing some serious surgery. This is some serious work they're doing. And then the second half, this just the bottom just fell out, and it's like, man, I ain't never seen Ruston, not just the fact get shut out, but totally shut down all the way. That is awesome work for David Seminole, and he really built that program to be what it is right now.
Well, my pick is Bryce Brown. Bryce Brown and his crew did a wonderful job once again in the tough Catholic League. Also had to defend two defending state champions in the playoffs, and the job he's done proudly the greatest Edna Carr football team of all time. I have to give it to Bryce Brown. So that is my coach of the year. And those are our coaches of the year. Now, let's get to some of these questions that were asked, and then we'll end the show. Let me find, because I said I go back to, I think, to Anthony's question. There it is. So we'll start with Anthony, and Kenny had one that I said we would do also. What team will be the number one underdog to watch next year? VK, you can go first.
The number one underdog to watch for next year. Meaning as in a team that we don't expect to really.
As I point
Okay.
the finger at VK. Yeah.
Now I'm making sure because I don't want to make it obvious because there are some teams that are going to really make serious moves next year.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna say South Plaquemines to be honest because they're losing a lot of people. They're losing a lot of key players. So I'm gonna say the South Plaquemines Hurricanes because it'll look like maybe the 09 team because remember they did lose a good bit, but they had some talent back in some way somehow. Cheryl Crutchfield got him back to the dome trying going for a 3P, but came up short against Haynesville. So, but South Plaquemines is losing a lot. So I'm gonna definitely say South Plaquemines because some people might not expect for them to do too much. So I'm gonna go with the Hurricanes.
Okay. George Peppers. And Lane, I'll get to your question in a little bit. I got you.
I wonder if that number one underdog is going to be in VK's top 5 at some point next year. Just asking, just being goofing around. I mean, 2 years in a row, Kent would have done them. And then it's not St. Aug. My answer, I'm going to the same area of the state, but I'm going to go to Boutique, Louisiana, and Hahnville. I think that's a team is on the come up. They showed you they got a little bit of something, but they're not going to be expected to win district. Why? There's a guy named Jackson Fields that resides there at Desterhead, still there. He'll be back next year. And that team
Harville
is
was in
still
two-way
Dester.
tie for district this year. What you talking about?
They tie district, but I think with the way Desterhead finished, they could use that. And if they stay healthy, they'll be the favorites to win that district. Remember, Fields was out for a long time.
Yeah.
If they stay healthy, they'll be the favorites to win. Let's admit that. But I believe Hahnville is my underdog for next year. And St. Aug was in that consideration. I'll say it, but they still got that gigantic beast in there called Etna Carr that they're going to have to deal with next year in the Catholic League. But I'm going with Hahnville, JB.
All right. And I'm going to go out to the southwestern part of the state. And I'm going to say Lake Charles
College Prep.
College Prep. Lake
Yep.
Charles College Prep in Division
Already
2
knew.
Select. I think that is an underdog. And we saw them against Kennedy, man, and they gave Kennedy everything they can handle.
They went toe to toe with them
Toe
people.
to toe. Just 2 late touchdowns from Kennedy put that away. But I think Lake Charles College Prep and the players that they're bringing back, I
They're
think
gonna
you
be a
watch out
problem.
for them. Yep, I think you watch out for them. All right. Um, Lane, I'm gonna do Lane's question, then I'm gonna get to Kenny's question. So Lane asks, "What was the favorite game to watch this past week?" I'll go first on this one. Um,
That's easy.
besides Shaw,
Well, I
besides
mean,
Shaw, besides Shaw and
easy
Edie
like,
White, but the Cecilia Franklinton game, that game there, Cecilia
yeah,
Franklinton,
there's
VK,
not much debate here.
Shaw U.D. White.
okay,
Shaw U.D. White.
George Peppers,
I'm gonna go and look with the emotional aspect. I get it. You know, we all have personal ties, obviously. But I'm gonna go Cecilia Franklinton because that game started like it was gonna be in the 50s for both teams. 6 touchdowns on 6 consecutive possessions, and then both teams made great adjustments. Cecilia made the right ones late, and that game was a classic. It was to the end, and Cecilia Franklinton is my choice.
okay. Now here we go. This gonna be the last question we do, and then we're gonna shut this down for a couple weeks, guys. All right, so Kenny asks, we need to know your
Oh,
early preseason top team to look out for next season in each division based off of what you guys know who's coming back before we shift to basketball season. All right, Kenny got us doing some work. So
yeah.
yeah, it's okay. It's okay. It's all good, George. We're gonna do it. We gonna do it. And I'm gonna start with Division One Select. And my pick as the favorites in Division One Select not will be, but my pick, that is the Division Four. I'm sorry, Division Four Select. That is Washita Christian. That is my favorite going into next year for Division Four Select. They're bringing back a lot of people. They weren't expected to get to the dome this year. They got there. The Washita Christian in Division Four Select. VK.
I'm
Hold on one
going.
second.
Okay.
When VK Lane and see the show yesterday, I won the picks for the entire playoffs. Lane, and you want to add the picks for the week? I won that too. So I won everything. Regular season, postseason, last week. Yeah. All right, VK, go ahead.
Gotta agree with Jared. Gotta agree with him. Washita Christian. They
All right,
returned another
George
guy.
Yeah,
Peppers.
for everything you just said, I mean, I gave Fitz you Coach of the Year. That tells me that they're going to be right there next year. I'm going with the Eagles too.
All right, Division Four non-select. I will go with. I'm gonna go with Haynesville again. Haynesville will be my favorite going into next season. Give me the Haynesville Golden Tornado. VK.
I'm gonna go with Logansport. Logansport returning a whole bunch of starters next year. They're gonna be loaded to bear in a much better. It was a good division this year, but it's gonna
Yes.
be a lot better with teams like Mangum and also Logansport, with a lot of people coming back. It's gonna be a lot more tougher next year to win it.
All right.
Dog BK. I was hoping you would be leaving that one for me, but I agree with you. I know what I saw in that semifinal. They went toe to toe with South Plaque, and it took a late burst by the Hurricanes to get that win. Give me Logan Sport as well. I think, as for the reasons VK mentioned, they're bringing a ton back. Tough road game to lose in the semis, but they played that South Plaquemines team to the whistle all the way and lost that game close. I think Logan Sport's going to be a problem next year in Division Four.
All right. Austin Tyler, yes, you can definitely take the fans title this year. You won that one. Austin Tyler did win the fans pick 'em. So
Nobody
yes,
challenged them.
somebody did. They didn't beat him. Somebody did. Jay Stud, look out for
Okay.
John Curtis for the next few years. The JV freshmen and eighth grade teams have been undefeated forever. Okay, definitely. Division Three non-select. I'll go first. The defending champions, Calico New Iberia. That's who I think will be the favorites going into next season. Give me Calico New Iberia. VK.
And you said Division 3 select, right?
Non-select.
No, no, no,
Non-select.
no, no, no. I meant select. Division Three select.
Oh,
Calico
select.
New Iberia. Yeah, my fault.
Okay,
Select.
you good.
Division 3 select. Yeah, Caddick New Iberia. I think they're returning a good bit and I think they're definitely gonna have a chance to defend their championship. But I ain't gonna lie, give me the Dunham Tigers because they still got Elijah Haven and a bunch of people back next year, and I think they're gonna hopefully learn their lesson and finally get a title. So I'm going with Dunham. No disrespect to Catlin Iberia. I think they're gonna be a worthy defending champion next year.
Okay. GP.
I'm with look. Dunham lost me with the pick title for the playoffs, but I'm picking them because, as VK said, Elijah Haven is going to be a junior. There's 2 more years of this man. There is a title with his name and the school's name on it. It may very well be next season. And Catholic Union Iberia is going to be a major, major player next year. No doubt about it. But I'm going to go with Dunham as well.
All right. Cool. Division 3 non-select. I'll go
This is
first.
easy.
Give me St. James.
Yep.
St. James. They're only losing
hmm
two seniors. Two seniors off that squad. Give me St. James.
Give me. I think we all three. George might be different, but I'm gonna go with St. James as
Oh,
well.
I'm going to be different. Boy, boy, boy. Give me Lavonte Davis and St. James. I think that team is going to be fire next year. I think they got a lot of those guys, and that freshman, Jackson, is going to be a monster next year. He's going to grow. He was 6'1", 205. I'm curious to see the growth spurt that he hits going into his sophomore year. St. James is going to be a major, major player next year. Can't wait to see what they bring.
Division 2 select. So with Shaw losing so much on the offensive side of the ball, we're going to see what happens with Shaw. Defense, they're bringing back 10 starters. So we'll see
Mhm.
what happens on the offensive side of the ball. Shaw's not my pick as the favorite right now. It's not. My pick, I think St. Charles Catholic will get this offense right next season and get things rolling. So right now, the favorite to me are the Comets of St. Charles Catholic. VK.
St. Charles will be very, very improved next year. Bell Chase will be very improved. That's on the other side though. But I think St. Charles is going to be very improved. A lot of teams are going to be improved in this division in itself. But my favorite, give me E.D. White because of that quarterback alone and the weapons he's got coming back. I like what Coliseum has, and I think they might have a chance to win the whole thing. E.D. White's my pick.
George
the
Peppers.
the team that's going to have a chip on their shoulder going into next year. They were a 2 seed before they got exponentially kicked out of the playoffs. University is bringing a bunch back, and they're going to be on a mission next year. The Cubs. Give me the University Cubs as my favorite in D2 select.
Division 2 non-select. I'll go first. I was looking at some teams earlier today, man. Like, But I think the favorite next year is a team you saw in the dome and came up short. The Franklinton Demons. I think that's the favorite going into next season. Quarterback comes back. Got a lot of players coming back. The Demons of Franklinton to me are the favorites for Division 2 non-select.
And I gotta agree with Jared. You know what I'm saying? And it's funny, Coach Jacob Crane and Coach Salt said this in the presser before the dome. They said that we're ahead of schedule right now
Mm-hmm.
because the team next year is supposed to be that team. And I think coach is right because we're seeing what they got returning and not too many seniors on this squad this year. And they took advantage of a very good senior class this year. But they still have a lot of experience coming back. Franklinton is my favorite as well.
Kenny, I'm gonna answer that question when we finish this right here. Go ahead,
When
George.
when a coach says that we're ahead of schedule, that tells me he's excited about the forthcoming season. I'm going to take the bait. Give me Franklinton as well. Salt is six. He's up there in age, pushing in his 60s. He's got one more title run in him. Had a great run this year. Came up just a tad short. They're coming for blood next year. I think Franklinton, and they'll be one of the favorites to win D2 non-select.
All right. Division 1 select. Edna Carr. I'm still
Yeah,
picking Edna Carr. Yes.
yeah.
You saying no, George, but I'm still picking
No,
Edna
no,
Carr.
no. There's no discussion here. I mean, you can start with me. I'm going to go ahead in the car as well. BK, John Johnson is coming back. That's enough. And Bryce Brown, he's going to fortify that offense. That's going to be more than enough. And the car, what we saw Saturday, what might be the beginning of a dynasty. And the car's the favorite to win Division One Select.
Yeah, I think you're gonna see an IndyCar team that probably lose Corey Amos and the three wide receivers,
Francis.
but I think IndyCar, they just reload. They just
Yes,
reload. Yeah. Yeah, IndyCar. VK.
This one is difficult. It's obvious, but I'm gonna have to split it between one of these two teams. And the car is one. The other is Catholic of Baton Rouge. They bringing a whole lot back, man.
they
They
are.
were young this year. These two teams might be a collision course next year. And I wouldn't count out the Purple Knights either, but those main two, it's Edna Carr, Catholic of Baton Rouge. Those are my two favorites. I would pick one, but I love what Carr's doing. Carr has a great chance to go back to back, but Catholic is going to be so dangerous next year with what they got returning. I just cannot discount them.
All right, now Division One, non-select. Kenny, when is the national championship game? Is it January 7th? Let me know if it's January 7th. Let me know because if it's on January 7th, then I got to do some rearrangement. But anyway, Division One non-select. I'm gonna let George go first. George Peppers, who
Oh
is your
boy.
favorite for next season in Division One
Uh,
non-select?
uh, I don't know. When I look at the composition of Division One non-select, I'm gonna go to the team in Destrehan and go with Marcus Scott and Destrehan. I think with Jackson Fields coming back, a healthy Destrehan. Remember, they were beat up for a majority of the year, and they still got to the semis. Ran into a buzzsaw in Ruston that night. They never had a chance that night. They're going to remember that game and understand what's the mission. I'm going with Destrehan as my favorite in Division One, not select VK or JB, whoever wants it first.
I'll let VK go.
Okay,
Destrehan is definitely,
on the list.
definitely, it's on the list. It's on the list.
Okay,
But also, I'm gonna say this: Destrehan can definitely get there, but I'm gonna go out on a limb on this one. You have to think. You had a lot of teams that had a lot of seniors and a lot of starters leaving. This could be a wide open division next year.
it is.
I'm gonna go out on a limb, Hanville. I'm going out on a limb. I'm going with the Hanville Tigers. This is a wide open division. We have seen this before, and sometimes expect the unexpected. Destrehan will be there, and who knows? It could be a Hanville Destrehan State
Maybe they
Championship.
dance in a dome.
It might be a Hanville Destrehan
That'd
State
be
Championship.
crazy.
That'd be very crazy. Um, this was the toughest one to really pick. I mean, I don't think you can go wrong with a lot. I don't know what Ruston brings back. But they lose Aiden Anding, they lose Joshua Brantley. So I don't
Hmm.
know. Neville. I mean, Neville opened a lot of eyes and ears this year, and Neville to me was the better team when they played Central. Just things didn't go their way. Central coming back, got a great coach. They do. Got a real great coach in Coach Semino. But I looked, and who would be my favorite for next year? You know what? Give me the Southside Sharks. Jess Curtis and
Mm,
his team. I think, I think, was this year one or year two?
year one.
This was year one.
Year
You
one.
sure?
One.
Okay,
Year
year
one.
one for Jess Curtis.
Yeah, for Jess
All right.
Curtis,
Yeah,
one.
Manny
Yeah, because
won.
he left
He left
Nathan
Nugget. Yeah.
Central to go to Southside.
All right. Year two. They just got to the quarterfinals. Big things might be happening in Youngsville, Louisiana. Give me the Southside Sharks. Give it to me. I will go out on a limb on that one because I just looking around, I don't see nothing. They're in a good district with Acadiana and Karen Crow. let's see what the Southside Sharks do for next year.
You seeing what I'm seeing? You definitely seeing what I'm seeing.
Yeah. Division 1 non-select to me is open. It's open. So let's see what happens. Hornville will be a much better team next year, without a doubt. I agree with that. Desrahan coming back. They're gonna be hungry, and we'll see. All right. With that being said, so Christmas Eve and Christmas is on Tuesday and Wednesday. We have shows Tuesday and Wednesday, so we're not doing a show next week at all. New Year's Eve and New Year's is also on Tuesday and Wednesday. We're not doing a show at all. We will be back January 7th. January 7th, we'll be back and we'll be transitioning into the basketball season. But our goal also on January 7th is to have Coach Semino of Central join us on this show. That is our goal also. That'll be our need our picks for playoff. No, Kenny, we're gonna do that. Kenny, we're gonna do the playoff picks when we start back with football in August. We'll do that then. We can do it right now, man.
Nah, that we just
Yeah,
finished the
not now,
football
not
season,
yet.
man.
We're done. We're
We need
done.
a break, bro.
Yeah, so
January 20th is the national championship.
It
we
is
good. January 20th. That's a Monday. All
Notre
right.
Dame and Oregon, y'all. Just saying.
It will not be Notre Dame and Oregon. Get that out the way.
Okay.
It'll be an all SEC matchup a third time with Texas and Georgia. Definitely not happening. So,
You think really?
but yeah,
You
we'll
think
be
Texas
back.
is gonna get there?
We'll be back January 7th, ladies and gentlemen. We want to thank Coach Lyle Fitte for joining us. We want to thank Coach Hank Tierney for joining us. We thank them so much for being with us. And we want to thank each and every one of you guys who are with us every Tuesday and Wednesday when we do these shows. Thank y'all so much. We're coming back January 7th. A little bit of a break for us. And we're going to transition to basketball. You know, it'll be 2 months until when January comes. 2 months until the basketball championships happen, boys and girls. VK, any last words?
Man, I tell you, man, it's been a great football season. Great times doing our podcast, great times doing our games and everything. All the sponsors that you see down here on the ticker, we like to thank all of y'all. Thank y'all so much for your support. We're definitely gonna need that next season for when we come back for year number 3 of the Hash It Out Show Game of the Week. And it was a fun year to do these games. We solved a lot of problems and everything. We went through a lot, but we got through it this year, all the way to the state semifinals. Man, gotta love it. You know what I'm saying? So very grateful to work with these guys and everything. And now we in basketball season, ladies and gentlemen. But everybody enjoy your holidays, man. Be careful.
So Kenny was asking for college. So George said Notre Dame, Oregon. I have the semis? That's what he asked? Oh,
Yeah,
Yeah.
semis.
Jimmy's.
Okay. I got Texas and Oregon, and I have Georgia and Georgia and Penn State. Is that right? I think that's right. Who you got? Who you got, George?
For the semis, I have Oregon and Texas on the top side of the bracket. Notre Dame and I should pick Penn State, but Boise, man, that team's got a chip on their shoulder now because of Jonte not winning the Heisman. I think they're going to ride that coattail, and I think Boise and Notre Dame make the semis on the bottom side.
VK.
Man, I'm trying to see here. Hold on a second.
Florida State's not there, bro. So, and neither is Michigan. So,
Of course, Florida State's not there. Give me
neither
one.
is my team. So,
Of course. Give me 1 second. I'm trying to punch up.
find the bracket.
Yeah, trying to find the right one so I can make sure I'm I'm not just correct, but make sure I'm saying everything on the right page here. All right, my semifinal, and I'm gonna just straight up be like this with it. All right, semifinals, Oregon. I'm gonna go Oregon, Arizona State, and I'm going to go my other semifinals. I'm going out on a limb on this one. Notre Dame, Boise for the semis. I
Find it hard
I,
that nobody y'all
I,
y'all ain't picking Georgia.
Georgia. I'm gonna tell you this, and I hate to say it. Carson Beck is a fraud, and he will be exposed
Hold
again.
up. Let me
Texas,
interrupt. Carson Beck
Texas.
may not play, Jared. He may not play.
Oh yeah, and then on top of that, Texas right now, Quinn Ewers ain't 100%, and it's showing it. It's showing
Okay,
it.
and them two backups for Georgia and Texas gonna get the job done.
Please, it ain't
Arch
Nah.
happening.
Manning
It ain't
says
Uh,
the
happening.
guy who said
man,
that
It
Arch
ain't happening.
Manning doesn't play good against good teams in high school, so now he's going to win a playoff game.
who said
Okay,
that? Me?
you. When
No, no, no.
Arch
Hold on,
played
hold on.
against good
Let's
teams,
correct what I said. I said Arch
okay,
Manning doesn't didn't have the talent around him to get to semis and championships. He didn't have the
but he's
talent
got. You think
around
he's
him.
got it? Okay,
In
so you
Texas,
think he's
talent
got it at
yes,
Texas?
yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
They'll beat Arizona State. I agree with you. They get to the semi. I don't think Arizona State's got a Chinaman's chance against them. Kenny Dillingham has done a super job this year. And okay, Troy,
I'm,
but
I'm like I'm
I
like
just
this. Does Texas get by Clemson? That's the
they'll
biggest
beat the
thing.
brakes off of Clemson.
All
No,
right,
Cade
Indeed.
Klubnik does
I,
not.
Yes,
Cade
indeed.
I,
Klubnik does.
I.
Hold up,
All I'm
BK.
gonna tell you, if that game
Look at that
goes to
finger.
the
Look at that
fourth,
finger, Jared. Look at that finger, Jared.
all I'm gonna tell you, if that game goes to the fourth, it might be
It
trouble.
won't. Let me tell
All,
you why they're not. Cade
all I'm gonna
Klubnik
tell you,
does not pair up games. He had a super game against SMU. I'll give you Clemson in the points. They're favored by 12. They will dominate that game, beat them up in the trenches, and win that game convincingly. Clemson's got no shot.
Texas
And
has
you can
not
play this
been.
sound back if they happen to win,
Tex,
Jared. You got my permission to play this sound back,
Texas. All I'm
but
gonna
they
tell
got
you is
no
this.
shot.
Okay, all I'm gonna tell you, Texas ain't been Texas the last couple weeks. I'm telling you, when I see weakness,
Almost beat
something
Georgia
is
though.
up.
They're
That's all I'm gonna tell you.
leading, almost beat
I'll leave that
Georgia.
alone.
Okay. All right, George, what's your last words? We can get out of here.
Yeah, let's get out of here.
I'm
I
hungry
know
too.
it's about that time.
Yeah.
Me too. With that said, look, it's been a great run for the football season. VK took a lot of what I wanted to say, but I also want to give our cameramen, Devin Martino and Parker Boyd, a lot of props because without those guys doing the work that they do and actually braving the cold in some nights, some nights we did games when it was cold and they got stuck on the roof. Devin, we feel for you, bro. Next year we're gonna have to get you a heavy coat for next year when we get a cold weather game. Um, and Parker, same with you. But without those guys and with their efforts, we're this video stream is not happening. They did a great job helping us out, and we were able to manifest a lot of things. It's a great football season. Now we get a 2 week respite before we channel up and go to basketball, and that's going to be a fun adventure as well. To everyone out there, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and whatever activities you may entail in, embark in, please be safe and use some diligence.
Definitely, everybody. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. Thank you all. No VK ran for 2 weeks. Yeah, I know.
You'll be all right,
Yeah,
Penny. You'll be all right.
we're gonna bring
Let's
it
be all
back.
right.
Don't worry. But everybody, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. Have a great time with family and friends. Be safe in whatever you do. For VK Jones, for George Peppers, I am JB, the sports guy. We'll see you all after the holidays. Y'all take care.
Happy holidays.
Thank you for watching the Hash It Out Show. Please like, subscribe, and